KetoSimple Coffee with KetoSimple. My name is Dustin. I'm so glad you're here. This stream will be starting soon, so grab your coffee, get comfortable, and settle in. We're building a strong and supportive community, so say hello in the chat, ask questions, and feel free to use super chats if there's anything that you want to see highlighted. Thank you for being here and being a part of this journey. Let's keep it positive and respectful as we connect and grow together. I can't wait to get started.
It's Sunday, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Sunday Morning Coffee. Halloween is over for you, but not for me. It is going to live on here for me, and I think, oh man, and if you blink, Christmas decorations are already up in most people's houses. Like, there's people probably like, it's gonna have a tree up already, but Christmas decorations are already up. Not here. Are you crazy? Not in this house. But it's that weird in between season. Fall is falling and winter is fast approaching. It's no man's land. The holiday hustle is coming fast. I think there's only I don't know how much time. Like, for us, it's like that idea that Christmas is coming, but so is a little baby. A baby is coming the week of Christmas. The baby's actually due on Boxing Day, but we're getting that baby earlier because they're going to do a cesarean section for the baby like a week before the due date. But I have been thinking a lot about how this year has gone, and I'll be honest, we haven't been as consistent as we wanted to be. Life's thrown a lot of us this year, a lot of curveballs, stress, emotional things, unexpected challenges. But I mean, that's real life. That's what we're here for. That's why we have a community like this, to help us deal with all of these things, regardless of how they may impact our eating, they may impact our progress, they may impact all of these things. They're the things that without community may derail us completely. Without you guys, without all of you wonderful people here every Saturday or every Sunday, Tuesday, sometimes Saturday. We were supposed to be here yesterday, but that didn't quite work out according to plan. A lot of things on my end. And then Amy was having a headache and just didn't quite feel right. She'd had surgery this last week, so she'd been doing a lot of teaching with school and all this, or with work and everything. So we have decided to move yesterday's chat to next Saturday at noon. So be on the lookout for that. Mark your calendars, set alarms, do all the things that you guys do. So today I want to talk about the balance between making excuses and just living through real life. What is the difference between making an excuse and living through real life? I mean, what's the difference between, having a few pieces of candy because that's the real life, that's Halloween, and making an excuse that I'm just going to have candy because it's Halloween? I mean, it's a fine line. It's a very, very, very gray area. And I want to get into talking about some meat prices too. I mean, really just how crazy meat prices are. And we were talking on the way out of the grocery store the other day. Shannon and I actually went to the grocery store together for the first time in forever. For the first time in forever. Yes. But we need to work out a plan to get some turkeys going, because turkeys, like right now, under $1 a pound. And I mean, really, it takes 3 hours to bake a turkey, carve it up. It's 20 pounds. Like, that's 20 pounds of meat, y'all. Well, 19 pounds and a pound of bones, right? But yeah, I mean, that's just the thing that I'm trying to, how do we do that? Like, we get to that whole thing. We're going to, talk about the meat prices. Turkey's under $1 a pound. How to stock up smart as we head into the holidays to, start saving for the new baby. We've been getting some things. We've got a new crib and some things, to get together for the new baby, and how are we going to make that work in the house that we're living with, the challenges that we have. So challenges and stress and emotional turmoil and everything that our life throws at us is just one of those things that I think that having a community like you guys is paramount. My life would be completely destroyed without you guys. And I always want to make sure that you guys know that. And I talk about how important Sundays are to me. I get up on a Sunday and I think, what am I even going to talk about? How am I going to do this? And how am I going to be there for them? And how am I going to provide something that's going to keep them coming back? And I mean, that's a thing that I definitely worry about. I worry about that a great deal. And I want to say hi to Thomas. Thomas is here. Mr. Target Prime Rib is here. Thank you, my friend. You were here 27 minutes ago. Evil Lynn is here. Evil Lynn with her coffee, with her evil coffee. I haven't had any coffee yet today, and I'm a little in need of some coffee here. Buc-ee's. But I'm excited to have you all here today. Excited that it's Sunday. She's asking, did you enjoy your extra hour of sleep? Well, I went to a Halloween party last night, so I didn't necessarily get an extra hour of sleep. I got home about 1:15 a.m., and I know that at 2 o'clock it went back to 1, I think is what it did. And then when I got home, Shander was kind of like half awake. And so we talked for a little bit, got her back to sleep, and I got to sleep. So, I mean, we still got a decent amount of sleep for a Saturday night, Sunday morning. So, Andy's here. Our Andy, milady, laugh a lot. No extra sleep here. We were both up at 5:40. 5:40. That's incredibly crazy. Andy says it looks like Susan is going to get more shut-eye. I'll probably go upstairs to the office. Well, good morning to both of you, Susan, Andy. I love both of you very, very much. I'm glad that you are here for a little bit, even if you're going to go back to sleep. She says, happy Sunday. And Andy also says here, I'm going to take my pill, make some coffee, maybe make a waffle, Dustin's recipe, and jump on the vibration plate to get my morning started. Lovely. I love that. I love that. If you haven't had an opportunity to check out that waffle recipe, please do. I had a great testimonial about that the other day. I posted it on my post. So if you haven't had a chance to look at that, take a look at that. That's the kind of stuff that truly, is makes all this worthwhile. Brian Dish is in the house. Good morning, Brian. Glad to see you. With the extra hour of sleep, will Dustin be on time? I'm here and I do my thing. If I'm here within a 5-minute window, I think consider that on time. Yes. Jerry's in the house. Good morning, Jerry. I'm so glad to see you. And Aaron, Miss Booby Goats, is in the house. Good morning, everyone. I've enjoyed my extra hour of sleep. Yes, indeed, y'all. Andy said, early risers because of supposed extra hour of sleep. My body was up at 5:40. Gross. It's disgusting. And Andy also says that we made a roast Friday night, and then last night for dinner we had a bed of cauliflower rice with the roast. It was delicious. Do you know what I have ready to go today? I have another batch of pumpkin sausage soup to make. Okay. I made the other so a little I have some stuff to post about that. I didn't record me making it. I don't necessarily think that's necessary. I don't necessarily think it's necessary, as I'm trying to say here, folks. But um it's the best soup on the planet, just in case you were wondering. But I will make more today. That's the plan. I'm going to make another batch of soup. I made a big, gigantic batch of soup last week that would have lasted me the entire week. But everyone in the house liked it. So it was gone within 2 days. 2 days. I had 2 bowls. 2 bowls, and it was gone in 2 days. So I'm going to make some more. Basically, I go based on the recipe that Keto Chow puts on their website, except I double the sausage and I add a pound of chicken, ground chicken. It just adds an extra pound of meat, and you mix it all together. You don't realize it's even in there, but it just adds. So it's 5 pounds of meat. Hollow. I don't add poblanos because they're not easy for me to find. I can't find them canned, but I add like a whole bag of frozen onions. I add the chilies, the jalapenos without the steak. I use a nice spice blend, a nice chile con carne spice blend. That's a low carb spice blend. It's like each packet is six servings that are 2 carb each, so 12 carbs per packet. So I'm going to try adding 2 of those to this and see how that comes out. Gives it a good color. Everything's delicious. Oh, delicious, delicious, delicious. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. I use beef stock instead of chicken stock, and I'm probably going to see about adding less of that this time because I like a thicker soup. How do you guys feel about thick soup? Sean Bradley, my good friend Sean Bradley's in the house. I'm glad to see you, my friend. Hope you and Shell are doing wonderful. So glad to see you. Coffee cup is upstairs. Coffee cup is upstairs. You probably should rectify that because without the coffee cup, you can't even draw. You can't. Without your coffee cup, you can't drink coffee. Coffee is my best friend. Let's see. Andy says, I'm saying this once and then never again to dissolve into either until after New Year. I'm going to be a Grammy again. It's a secret, but I had to tell you this, group of friends. You know what? I love it. I love all the new baby squishies coming in because they're the babies and they're squishies, and I'm excited about the new granddaughter that we're getting this year. I'm excited. And I just know, like, all the difficulties that you can have with having a new baby, but like the idea that we're all here in one house, the idea that Logan gets to experience a baby sister at a time where she's old enough to really understand is going to be fun. And I'm looking forward to all these baby naps. You're going to be like, hey, where are you? I'm like, I'm busy napping. Got these baby sweaty baby naps. I'm so excited. Woo! I'm looking forward to it. My good friend Amy's here. Have I told you about Amy? Have you met Amy? Have you been to her channel? Have you watched her live content? She's great. Go check her out. I need to set up a whole thing because Grandma Barbara, Grandma Crochet, she not to be confused by Bobby Boucher. She uses Nightbot, and then you can type in a phrase and it shares your stuff. And maybe I'm going to look into that. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll see what's going on, and people can share their things and stuff and their channels and all that fun stuff, because I'm here and I want people to know about all of you guys and all your great channels, and I'm not going to be stingy about it. And then Evelyn is again, good morning with evil laugh, evil coffee, evil laugh. Yeah. Granny Boo is here. Not to be confused with Granny Boo. Oh, this is Granny Boo 2882. Granny Boo 2823. Yes. Hanging out with Jen is here. She says, morning, y'all. I love it. And Amy's like, what's up? Like, what? That was a thing we don't need back. It was funny when it happened, but I don't need it back in my life again. I don't need that. But what's up, everybody? Glad to see you guys. So glad to see all of you. The best day of the week. The best part of waking up is drinking coffee with your friends online. But I was out with friends last night at a party, and these are all people that I've known for 20 years, right? So, like, a good amount of them 20 years, 10 years, 15 years. Not very many has it been shorter than a period of time than that. I mean, every once in a while, somebody kind of pops in that I don't really know, but most of the people, the staples that are at these parties, are people that I've known for a considerable amount of time. And then it's like, you have to try to be like, I've got to get out of here. Well, why? I've got a live stream at 7:30 in the morning. They're not here. The live stream isn't for them. I mean, they're obviously welcome if they wanted to join in, but like it's weird how there's a separation between like actual real people in your life, like people that you have known in person for so long, but there's a separation of all the people that you have met. And I don't mean that there's a difference between quality of friend. I don't mean a quality of acquaintance. I don't mean a quality of people being in your life, because I've met you guys here. And it's not a detractor, but it's like, it's really just a way to differentiate and explain. These are people that I met at shows, people that I met at, because I used to go to here in Indianapolis, we had a theater, a place where like local bands would play called the Emerson Theater. And I was there like every weekend. It didn't really matter who was playing. We were either there, and then there were subsequent venues across time over the last 20 some years. I mean, Emerson Theater being one of the most predominant ones that we went to the most. Then there were places like the Fifth Quarter. There was like a place called the Rock House, which was a bar. There were places like the Melody. There's Melody still open, the Melody Inn. You can still go there and see shows. And now we've got newcomer places like Black Circle. But over the years, there was like the Volcano Room and Smedley's Dream and the Purple Underground and all these places that we would frequent. And the bands that would play that we became friends with that are still in my life today, a good amount of them. A lot of those people from bands are still in my life to this day. Like, music is a huge part of my life. And so sometimes when I get off on a musical diatribe or talking about something about music, and whether it's something you understand or bands you care about or music you would even consider listening to, or even like even when it comes to like Chris and Ash, Ash Taylor and Chris Cook in Nashville and such, like just knowing that there's musicians in this group warms my heart, because even if country music isn't something that I am necessarily enamored by, or something that it's not my first choice, I love the fact that they are live musicians and they are out there and they're doing it, they're recording and they're making music videos and they're doing the damn thing. I love that. I love that there's music in this community, because music is a big, huge part of my life. Live music, having amps in your face. It just so happens that I'm, a person that really likes like hard rock metal. I leave it at that because I can get into more descriptive detail, but it doesn't really mean much. But yeah. But it is an interesting thing, an interesting concept to be last night with a group of friends that I've been around for 20 years. And and some of you that, we're starting to hit, year 2, year 3 of being friends and seeing each other week in and week out, because I've been doing this for over 2 years, I think now. I think this Sunday morning it started. I don't even know how many episodes. I've over 100 and some episodes here. They're not all on the playlist because whenever I'm setting this up, I forget to put it in the playlist. So I have to go back and edit the YouTube on the back end to add these episodes to the playlist, because it is a podcast. Once it goes in the playlist, it becomes a podcast and shows up on other sides of YouTube. I don't necessarily get a lot of rewatches because I don't think it necessarily comes up as controversial enough to really kind of get into the algorithm like that. Or, maybe one day it'll be something that's huge. I like it. I like the fact that it is manageable. And I know that there's been a lot of controversy in the community these days where certain creators are upset with how big their chats get. But I think if you want to grow a community, there are certain unfortunate trade-offs where the bigger your community, the bigger the presence you have, the bigger the chats get, the harder it is to keep up. It becomes less intimate. And I think that's where you can kind of, go into when the memberships make sense for people, where you can grow memberships and you can get, you can go into smaller lives where they kind of have this intimate feeling, because ultimately we want to grow this community. That's the reason why we do these channels. That's why we do these chats. We get to know each other, but all of us are here because we want to make sure that others out there that have been through the same things that we've been through find a place, find us, to know that they can find help for themselves as well, right? So I never want to, get upset about growth. I don't want to get upset about that with other creators. I know that, there's, these creators that we've seen, like Chris has come up and he's hit over 100,000, and Victor's just hit 100,000. And we've got all of these, these creators out there that are hitting these big milestones. And we look at other creators that have, or growth, that are growing and growing and growing. And some of them aren't big fans of that growth, but I think that there's a testament to the growth. There's a testament to the community that grows you, because if you have something important to say, you are bound to grow, whether it's a beneficial importance or a controversial importance, I guess is a way to look at that. But, I'm just glad, Stacy says, I forgot the time change, but I'm not late. I turned it on 45 minutes early. Good morning to my Sunday morning friends. No Halloween candy came to our house. Success. Well, I would like to say that was something. We pass out candy. And I would like to have the ability to not pass out candy and pass out other things, like, pass out healthier treats or whatever, but we don't have that kind of money, where we ended up, I bought 2 bags of Halloween candy, Costco bags. They were $20 a piece. There were lots and lots of kids in the neighborhood. They just didn't all come down our street. Our street wasn't heavily populated with people passing out candy, so we ended up with like a gigantic bucket, which got sorted into little bags. And I've had more candy than I care to admit, but I'm going to admit it because understandably, that's my real life. That's what my life is. Yesterday was candy. The day before, candy. Is it the same as before I started doing this lifestyle? Absolutely not. I would have eaten that entire bucket. But I had, 20 pieces, 10 pieces instead of 100 pieces. So little wins, right? Little wins. Brian Doyle's in the house. Good morning, Brian. Finished the workout and editing this week's video. Glad to be here. I'm glad that you are here. I'm glad that you are editing your video. How is that coming along? How are you feeling about it? It seems so foreign and weird at first, but then you start to find a rhythm. You start to find a joy in it because you're getting to make something. And you're getting to turn something raw into a finished product. Don't forget to normalize the audio. Very important. Normalize the audio so audio levels are the same across the board, so you don't have a really, really quiet and then really, really loud. You always want to auto, and like the program that I utilize, you can very easily normalize the audio as you put it all in. And there are settings, like you're going to normalize it to YouTube because YouTube wants you to set it at a specific volume. There's luft levels, and I want to say that YouTube is 14 lufts. You can get into the weeds. It can be a little complicated, but you understand. I mean, and you can. There's Netflix. There's a Netflix setting. Netflix has its own desired, which I think Netflix is too low. Like Netflix, you got to push your volume on your TV up, and like so high. It needs to, like, they could probably stand to use the settings that YouTube uses. I think Netflix would benefit greatly from that. Yes. Carnivore Whisperer, Lisa's in the house. Good morning, Lisa. I'm glad to see you. Lexus Jones is in the house. Good morning. I was wondering about you the other day. I kind of think about people from time to time if I haven't seen them in a bit, but I'm so glad to see you. I hope you are doing very well. People saying hello to each other. And yes, Jerry. Jerry is here, and she says, it's going to be a great day. And I am one to agree. I believe it's going to be a great day. Josephine. Welcome, Josephine. So glad to see you, my dear. So glad to see you. And Lexus Jones says, I've been great. I've been on medical keto this last 3.5 weeks, and I feel amazing. Plus, my sister started her new job. I love it. I love it. And Rick is here, our good friend Rick. Rick, we love Rick. Rick, we love him.
Rick, 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 Rick. Rick, 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 Rick. Rick, 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 Rick. Rick, 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 Rick.
But we love Rick. Welcome, Rick. He says, I cut up the turkey and I deep fry it. That's the way to do it. I think we'll probably continue just to bake it. I don't know, but our oven is kind of weird, so we're probably about to get a new oven. So I don't know how that's going to work because we've already got a Samsung oven stove combo that we got a couple years ago. It was like you get the stove, the refrigerator, the dishwasher, and the big microwave oven cover thing, right? And so one of our burners, the big burner, like the main burner, it's either on or off. It's either on or high. It's like off or high. There's no like setting it to 2, it's high. Setting it at 1, it's high. Doesn't matter. So we don't use that one very much unless what we need to do is boil water or something like that. Then you can throw that on and it works fine. But the oven is starting to not maybe bake so well or whatever. So we're probably have to buy one of those. Probably have to wait till after Christmas what to make do somehow. But yeah, it's going to be fun. You start looking at ovens and like, oh my goodness, they start at like $700. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And Bride's Biscuit is here. She says, sup, I love it. And Helen is here. Oh, Mad Diva. Helen, hello, everyone. Just popping in to say hey and have a good Sunday. Stay blessed. Well, welcome, dear. I'm glad to see you. You have sent me a message on WhatsApp, and I haven't had a chance to listen to that yet. I plan to listen to that today. Yeah. Lisa says a lot of Butterfingers. Butterfingers are delicious. I had a couple. You know what? That's what we're going to do here. And Lisa says, we love you, Dustin. Just be you. That's all I can be. That's all I can be. And Amy says, I'm feeling it right now too, Dustin. I think stress and hormones is why I'm not hitting my goals, even being strict. And I kind of think that, we've got to give ourselves grace, because we just have to, because we're going to run into stress. We're going to run into all these things. Things are going to happen that are out of our control. Things are going to happen, and how we handle them is important. We have to remember that our goals are goals. They're not going to be met tomorrow. And understanding that with community, you can get through the stress. I can get through the stress. We may be less consistent than we want, but I don't consider there any failures unless you just completely give up and walk away. I don't care if you were off the rails for 2 months, but you stay connected to the community. I don't see any of that as a failure, because we're all human, and we've all been through it, and we're all going to go through it. We're all going to have these times when we're not where we want to be, who we want to be. It's okay. Now, it's like one of the early things when it came to keto, I was involved in these groups, and they were like, people come in and looking for permission to cheat and all that stuff. I don't ever want to do that. I don't want to give people permission to do things. It's not what I'm not your dad. I'm not your uncle. I'm not your dad. I'm not your caregiver. I'm a person that is just here to be like you, to let you know that you being you is normal. The things that happen to you probably happen to us too. The things that you've gone through probably happen to us as well. People saying hello. There's our friend Carl. Carl says, good morning, ready for coffee and good company. Oh, I've got coffee and the good company is here. I'm so glad to see you all. So delicious. Amy says, the clock that shines on my ceiling says 8:30. It is 8:05 currently right now. Helen says, just be yourself. Don't have to be anything but yourself. And the right people will want to see the content. I personally prefer making content than lives. Yeah, I have content to make. I've got a laundry list of videos that I want to make. I've even been working on another video. I've got a new the problem is my new setup in here. Where I put the camera is difficult. So I've got a new tripod coming today that not only controls the height, but then it has a bar that comes out of it, and they can kind of so I can set the tripod behind my monitors and everything back here. Then I can run the thing up this way. I can have the cameras right where I want them, so I can just come in and have things set up, and I can just record. That's really what I want. I just want to be able to come in and record and make videos, but I don't have it. I don't have that setup right now. This setup is better than I thought it was going to be, but there's still some modifications that need to be made, and I'm working on that. So as soon as I can kind of get things set up to where I can just come in and hit record, because just the hitting record part, it's difficult because I've got the cameras. I've got cameras here. I've got this one. This is a 9. It's a GoPro 9. I've got the GoPro 11. They've got a deal right now over at Costco. If you're a Costco member, you can get a GoPro 13 for like $300, $320. It comes with 2 batteries, a memory card. You're not getting like a selfie stick or anything like that. Say hi to Dan. Well, Dan's upside down. Sorry, showed you his butt. What's up, Dan? Dan's here. We love Dan. But yeah, I've got cameras. I do want a ZV-1 Mark II. I don't know when I'm going to get one of those. They're like $900. Then you got to get extra batteries and the cord to plug it in, and then it takes a different kind of memory card, and then it's you're in it for another, every time you buy another camera, you're going to put another $200 into it. So add $200 to whatever your camera budget is for extra stuff. But I would love to have a Sony ZV-1 Mark II. I think that would be really great. I do have some salty here because I get thirsty talking to y'all. And I love coffee, but coffee is not a thirst quencher. Salty is delicious. Can you guess what flavor? I'm pretty sure you'll probably get it right. Let's see. Rick says I have the engine for my truck sitting in front of it. It will be moving in. I'll be moving it with the Bobcat later. All right. Helen is making beef stew today. That sounds phenomenal too. I haven't had a good beef stew in a while. Chili with rice also. That sounds delicious. Carnivore Whisperer Lisa says I actually just got up, so I needed that sleep. Let's see. Has it a little now? I need that. It's a little quiet right now. I need that too. Quiet, peace, quiet. I love it. A quiet house, yes. And Helen says she's going to make some cold pressed juice in a juicer. Got a cold pressed Ninja, not bad and does the job. All right. She used to love or does love homemade soup with sourdough. That stuff is good. I'm not going to lie. That good sourdough, that's some good stuff. I used to love sourdough bread. Jeff Fafa is in the house. Good morning, Jeff. How are you, my friend? I'm glad to see you. Brenda Foley. Can you believe it? She's here. Good morning, Brenda. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Jerry says, okay, I'm back after the new dog premiere live. You got a new doggy? All right. And Target Prime Rib, Mr. Thomas says, starting my first meal, eggs, 2 burger patties, and 10 strips of bacon. Butter coffee. I love it. Amy says, Rick, I made heart attack chicken again yesterday, and it's almost gone. I almost need to make a double batch of it. That's how I always make the family pack. So, like, it's usually, like, at least 8 thighs. I make chicken, like, the heart attack chicken thighs. I call it Butter Bob chicken. Butter Bob chicken, I don't think is any different than Rick's heart attack chicken. It's just deep. Basically, you take chicken thighs, chicken legs, whatever, right? And you just throw it into hot, boiling oil, whether it's lard, tallow, what have you. You just fill your pan up and you fry it, and it's delicious. We like thighs. We like thighs a lot. Love it. But I always make a double batch. I always make like a family pack, so at least 8 thighs. Sometimes I'll double that batch. Andy says we're cautiously excited. Of course, yeah. You've got to be. When you're dealing with the little ones, you got to get to a certain point really before you start, like, kind of letting everybody know. We had to wait. We knew so early, and we just had to wait so long, so hard to keep that quiet. Oh my goodness. Oh. Yeah, Jen says Nightbot is great. And Amy says, Jerry, I can't wait to see the dog. Can't believe you came home and there was a new puppy. Yeah. Christian Delorme is in the house. Bonjour, everybody. Bonjour, bonjour. Hee hee hee, ho ho ho. I love it. Multicultural in the house. We've got Australia. We've got Wales. We've got Canada. I love it. And sometimes we'll have somebody in here from South Africa. I love it. Lex says it's going to start getting dark at 5 p.m. I mean, it's daylight already. I mean, you can't tell in here because I've got all the windows covered up, the window covered up here. But yeah, it's like it's normally dark. I would rather it be dark until like 8 and then stay daylight till 7. But what do I know? What do I know? I don't get to make these decisions. Jeff Fultz, Mr. Jeff says, we made it to our winter location with our RV yesterday, Keystone Heights, Florida. Let's see, where is that? Where is that? I'm curious. Let's see. There you got a Winn-Dixie. You've got a Hitchcock Market, Johnny's Barbecue and Catering. Let's see. Where is this compared to everything else? All right. So, yeah, you guys are like, okay, I see where you guys are. Kind of like south of Jacksonville, north of Gainesville, way north of Orlando. Okay. All right. I see you. I see where you are. I see where you are. I see you. All right. Yeah, good fried chicken is delicious. That's skin, a good crispy skin. It is addicting. It's delicious though, right? Rick says the time change only affects me when I have to interact with others. I still get up with the sun. The best part of waking up is an iguana in your file cabinet. Oh my goodness. The people you meet, the people that you meet in this community. Yes. Amy says, I originally couldn't get Nightbot to work, but bought a new computer and it's working. I'm tweaking the commands so they work. You can also put people in automatic timeout. I like that. I like that. And Christian and his wife are on their way to the Christmas market. It's too early for Christmas. I mean, we haven't even made the hand turkeys yet. We haven't talked about the pilgrims. I mean, we're going straight to Kris Kringle. I mean, come on. It's like, this is Halloween. This is Halloween. Merry, Merry Christmas. No, we need something. We need some time. We need something in between. It's just, I can't. And then Thomas is the best part of waking up is bacon on your plate. That's true. That's a good one. And I sing terrible, but that's fine. And Amy and Lisa's asking Amy how she's doing. And Amy responds that Lisa, I still have a slight headache, but I'm just tired. Just need sleep. Sleep. And Thomas is right. Butter in your coffee cup. People think I'm weird. I told somebody that sometimes usually I'm putting about a half a stick of butter in my coffee. They're like, what? Why? They're so confused. Yes. I love it. All the wonderful people here. Good morning, B. I'm so glad to see you. I love it. And Sean says that Music is so much better live. I can listen to anything live. One of my favorite things about my childhood is that we used to go to see Irish folk music bands or Irish folk bands. My mom was good friends with a lot of them. I remember one of the first live experiences that I remember was a bluegrass band. We were at the Indiana State Fair. They had this little stage set up, and like as you're walking in the main, like you go in the main entrance and you're walking down, like, and there's like stuff on either side. There's like horse and cattle barns on one side and like different kinds of stores, like exhibits and stuff on the other side, and food all along, like all the food trucks and stalls are all down this way. And there was like a it's like also where you like rent the scooters and all the things like wheelchairs and scooter rentals and all that stuff. And there was like this stage, and I sat down to watch this band play. They're a bluegrass band, and they had a banjo player, chick playing banjo, and they're just going to town. And I'm like, this is awesome. And the chick, the chick that's playing banjo, broke a string mid song. She's like, bling, and then like she stops, puts a new string on it, tunes it up, and just keeps playing the same song. And I was like, yes, I've loved live music ever since. Lisa is in the house. Good morning, Lisa. Glad to see your bright and smiley face. Welcome, welcome. Andy says, I went on a late night shopping trip last night and I didn't 10 minutes reading popcorn nutritional labels. I'm craving that kettle corn taste, and I left the store almost crying. Cravings are real. Yeah. They spent 10 minutes reading. Okay. So, I mean, we have a store here. We have a Kroger, and they make popcorn. They have like a popcorn station. So they like pop the corn and they mix the flavors all together and everything. They have 3 sizes. And they have a $2 size, which is like, just a little cup, right? Like a $2 size. They have like a $5 or $4 size or like $5 size or whatever. Then they have like a $7 size, $8 size, whatever. Then you get like a smaller container, then you get a big container. I would say, like, if you really needed it, like if it's just something you wanted, I would say get the $2 size. Gives you the taste, kind of helps get through it. Because I kind of wonder, like, the emotional distress of not having something that you really want. Like giving in or just finding a small bag of it. Or even if like you have a place that doesn't make it fresh, like a small bag, like a single serving or maybe a 3 serving bag or whatever. Because, most popcorn bags are huge because popcorn takes up so much room. But I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? At what point do you stop ignoring your craving and give yourself what you want? At what point do you do that to yourself? Like, at what point is something like craving something that you really like that's off plan? At what point is it worse for you to avoid it than having it? That's a question I think that doesn't necessarily get discussed enough. Because I think it's oftentimes you don't need it. Just you can get the crave. Sometimes you just gotta give in, right? Is that a case? Sometimes do you need to just give in? Well, maybe see if I can put a poll up here and ask you guys that. Because I think it's a legitimately valid question. I think it's a legitimately valid question. But you guys have to let me know. I'm going to pop out this chat over here, and I'm going to add in a All right, and we'll get to those in a little bit. Lisa says, I don't know how my channel could help anyone want to be a carnivore because of my struggles with mental health, but I've always been set free of food addiction through carnivore, and that's amazing. Well, the thing is it's very easy to get lost in your own struggles, and it's easy to think that individual struggles that you have dealt with are yours and yours your own, that you are an island. But no man is an island. No person is an island. We've all have struggles. Now, the compiled list of struggles that you have been through, Lisa, might be your own. But the individual pieces and components of those struggles may be something that a lot of people have been through. So I think talking about your issues on your channel will bring people who have had bits and pieces of the same struggles as you, may not all of them, but it's so helpful just to put out there the things that you have been through, because unfortunately, some of the worst things that we've been through in our life, we are not the only ones. Now, unfortunately, I say unfortunately because it's a double-edged sword. It's unfortunate that you don't want people to have dealt with some of the worst things that you've dealt with. But on the other side of that sword is great, because now you're not alone. You have someone to talk about it with. You have someone to, you have someone to share that experience with that knows how you feel. Because how important is that? That's the basis of community. That's the reason why we're all here. A bulk of us are here because of weight loss, right? But a lot of us have been through, all kinds of things. And Amy says, my channel is growing very slowly. I'm being surpassed by newer creators, and I'm totally fine with that. I don't post videos every day, but I have an awesome following and cherish every minute of. Yeah. We can't judge ourselves. We can't judge our own success by what others are doing. Andy says, I remember not so long ago going to Walgreens the day after Halloween and nabbing the 50% off candy. No more. Yeah, I don't bother with that. I mean, we had enough candy. And I mean, realistically, like, there's clearance candy year round. There's almost always some kind of clearance candy at Walmart when I'm walking through the cash register, because I go past all the self checkouts to get to the man checkouts, because I'm usually there. I have a cart full of stuff, and I just want to, and I like the interaction with people. I like the interaction with the cashier. I like people. I want to talk with somebody. I'm just not a fan of self checkouts, but And Jerry says, right, Amy, I can't do normal videos now, but I just did a quick live 10 minutes ago, right during Dustin's live. How rude, right? Well, I had no idea until you said something, but I don't mind. We all got to do what we got to do, right? And Sean's got that down right here. He's like, Lisa, everyone's story is important and should be shared, even if it only helps a few people. Your story will help others because someone out there will need to hear it and really touched by it. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Bride's Biscuit said, I had one peanut M&M last night, and I immediately felt the dopamine wave of addiction. Sadly, it tasted as good as I remember, and even though I haven't had a piece of candy in 11 months. I mean, that stuff, our body has a response for a reason. Like our bodies respond that way because we like it. It tastes good. And I know, we have to be mindful of that and be careful. But like, isn't it strange that like we don't get a dopamine hit like that off a steak? Is that weird? I mean, we might. Some people might, but it's not the same. And Amy says we need to do more. She needs to do more cooking videos, but the PhD training and coaching is getting in the way. Studying instead of cooking. Yeah, 100%. Trying to get caught up. I'm so far behind with the chat here. Brian is saying, currently the stage of not knowing what I don't know, all the stuff you just said where I don't know answers. Yeah, I don't know answers. Well, and that's the thing is like, when it comes to making videos, the main thing is you want to make sure you can be seen clearly. You want to make sure that your video or your audio is clear and without like lots of hums and hiss in the background, a lot of extra noise, because that will turn people off really quickly. People are less likely to listen to what you have to say, to even find out how important it might be if the sound is bad. So we always want to make sure the sound is good. You can learn as you go to make your video settings better, your lighting better. All of that comes with time. Your editing will get better, but make sure audio sounds good as quickly as possible. Because bad audio will get people to turn off pretty quickly. Jerry says lives equals zero editing. Yes, I like that idea. But also, it just is a different way to bring in people to the community. And he says we spatchcock the turkey. Last time we tried to do that, we broke like 3 pairs of scissors. It just didn't quite work out the way we wanted it to. And I found it was drier. I'd rather just spend the time cooking the turkey and just let it be done. Lisa says, I always think I should throw a towel because I don't fit in. You fit here like nobody's business. You need to be here. I've heard most of your story. You belong here. Just as Thomas belongs here. And Lisa belongs here. And obviously, Amy, we know Amy belongs here. Because of my surgery, we are catering Polish food for Thanksgiving. Is that a regional thing up to South Bend? Can you all cater Polish food where you are? I don't know. I've never catered food outside of going and picking up something from like KFC or whatever, like getting like the big bags or whatever. I've never catered anything. Rick is here from Twin Brook Acres. Good morning. Still so far behind. I'm trying to get caught up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Oh, I'm glad, Evelyn. I don't want you to be normal. No, thank you. Andy Carnivore says my clock says 9:05. I do believe you need to change your clock back an hour. Yes. Good morning, two crazy ketos. Welcome. So glad to see you, Joe and Rachel. I'm sure it's one and or both of you. I think I saw Joe was posting in the chat. I got the live chat as it's going right here, and then where I'm still backed up to here. North Dakota Carnivores in the house. Welcome. Good to see you, Lance. Lisa says, I can't eat Butterfingers. I had Butterfingers typing when I hear the struggles people have after I don't ever want to stray. Yeah, and I mean, to each their own. I mean, everybody's going to be a little bit different. Show got called into work. Let's see. Fingers crossed you won't have to stay too long. Yeah, you don't want that. Yeah, and Joe says, I have the original ZV1. The problem with it, the battery doesn't last that long. Well, that's like what I'm looking at utilizing it for. It'd be basically stationary and I just have it plugged in, and it probably wouldn't be a big issue for me at all. There's just things I like about the ZV-1 Mark II that are some upgrades and things. Because the ZV-1 Mark I or whatever had some issues with, like, if you're going to carry it as like a vlog camera, it would with some cropping with 4K and stuff that was alleviated, I think, with Mark II. But if I can get like the ZV-1 FE or whatever, the one that Cindy has, I think you can get those sometimes for like $400. That might be what I would actually. That's a decent camera for like $400 if you can get it on sale. That she's never pulled out of the box or used. And Jen says she's currently drinking the lemon lime twist with her before her coffee. Always good to have some electrolytes before you have coffee. I try to do that. And Lance says, just waking up, making my weekend coffee, Papua New Guinea, Western Highlands. Yes. And Joe says, if you are using it for your studio, get a Sony FX30. You'll pay more money, but it's 10 times better the camera and made specifically for video. Uses the same lenses as the A6000, 6700, and the ZV-1 series. Yeah, I've looked at all of those. I would like one. Then I have to figure out what lens to use and all of that stuff. We'll have to see one day. I think I'd have to like start dating Santa Claus or something. I don't know. Get that kind of stuff to show up at my house. Because I don't get like there's no electronics for me for Christmas. Nothing. Our Christmases are different here, so. I know you probably get the FX30 with a kit lens too, but I would just have to like really look at that and see what works out best for me. Thomas says, quiet now for me. So don't yell. My roommate was yelling until 2 a.m. about something. Uh-oh. Well, good luck there. Brenda Foley. Woot woot. Happy to be here. I'm glad that you're here, Brenda. Thank you for being here. And Cindy DeManchi is finally awake. Welcome, Cindy DeManchi. Cindy DeManchi. Good morning, my friend. Lisa's asking, what is heart attack chicken? Never heard of it. It's basically, what did I call it? It's deep fried chicken. I call it Butter Bob. Butter Bob chicken. Butter Bob was a creator that was like around the time I started doing keto. He has a nursery now in like outside of Nashville, but he had the whole thing, butter makes your pants fall off thing going on. But it's basically like chicken cooked in lard. Just deep fried chicken. Delicious. Amy says, Dustin, I did make the family pack on the second, and this two of us tore it up. That's how Shannon and I mean, now like I buy 2 30 packs or 2 family packs about everything we do. Bride's Biscuit says, I learned to bake doughs, breads, and make scratch pizza the same year I went to keto. That was some crazy plot twist I wasn't ready for. I couldn't imagine. So 2 Crazy Ketos, they have a new whole milk recipe or a milk recipe on their channel. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I saw that it was there because all of their stuff pops up into my feed. Just finished an incredible glass of electrolyte chocolate milk using our whole milk recipe and Coco Loco salty. That sounds fantastic. I need to try that and see how it comes out. Jerry's making bacon. Joe for ban the time change. I I like the night where you get the extra hour, but then again in springtime where you lose the hour, that's ridiculous. But I don't know. I'm from Indiana. I live in Indiana, and we didn't have time change for a long time. We just didn't change. It just didn't change here, but we would be either on the same time as Eastern or we were on the same time as Central. But it didn't matter to us because unless we were going to like only if we were going somewhere. So if we were going to like we'd go to shows in Ohio or we go to shows in Cincinnati, did it make a difference? Or like Cincinnati, we go to Bogart to see shows, or go to Chicago to see a show. We'd have to check before we left to know, like, okay, well, what time is it there? Is it daylight savings or not? Because we had no idea. We didn't change time forever. Not until I think 2006 did we start changing time. That was a time of change, like 2006. Couldn't smoke in restaurants anymore. Had this time change, all these weird things. Sean's got it. Sean's like kind of more in the passing of Halloween. I understand, like it's just such an abrupt change to go from Halloween to Christmas. And I know like places like Walmart, they were already putting up Christmas stuff long before Halloween even got here. So you kind of start to feel that trickle. But come on, like I'm not ready for full on Christmas yet. I'm really not. And Jen's talking about Kerrygold. Yeah, Kerrygold is expensive. I just buy Costco butter, the regular old blue box salted Costco butter. It's like $2.90 a pound. I don't care. It works. It works. Yeah. I feel like this, Thomas, that they start Christmas decorations in stores during Memorial Day. Yeah. We haven't even made hand turkeys yet. It's true, we haven't even made the hand turkeys yet. And they're like, Christmas, I can't. We got it. We got it. There's an order of things. John's here, together strong. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, everyone. Glad that you're here. I'm so far behind. Shelly King is here. Good morning, Shelly. Glad to see you. And he says normal isn't fun. We all have a little crazy. Some of us show a certain percentage in a given moment. I mean, we're all a little crazy, right? And Aaron says if you really wanted popcorn, you can stand pork rind, just melt some hot butter. Yeah, I get it. And I mean that's mostly what we would do. But sometimes you just gotta have some popcorn. Yeah, and Joe's here. Like depends on what you're craving. It's all about sustainability. Yeah, I mean, really, you got to make the best choices for yourself. Because I kind of feel like when it comes down to certain cravings, if I let my cravings go on too long, then I might just go overboard. I might break and go overboard. But if I kind of like a pressure valve, give in a little bit here, a little bit there, then it's not so bad. If I can get away with a couple of bites, you know. We ended up buying pork rinds. We were eating them at 10 p.m. I love that. That's delicious too. Oh. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely so. Hanging out with Jen says, when I want it real bad, I won't lie. I'll have, you'll give in, but it won't have the amount that you used to. Like, like having some, some Halloween candy that, like, these times, I'll have a handful of pieces versus the entire bucket. I would just sit down with the bowl and just fill the seat next to me with wrappers. There's a lot of definite positive changes that have come out of this, even when you do give in. Dip pork rinds in bacon grease. We haven't been making a lot of bacon. I don't have any bacon grease right now. I know it sounds crazy. And Aaron says something fascinating here. It's like, if you open your cravings, it may open a floodgate that you can't close. And that's, I think, where you have to understand yourself. You have to understand who you are. And I think there's with this lifestyle, there's a lot of self-discovery that you have to go through. I think coming to terms of who you are, being realistic with who you are, and not lying to yourself, being honest and open with yourself is probably the hardest part of this journey, because we all come in this journey wanting to lose weight. We want to come in, we want to fix our problems, and we want to go back to doing what we were doing before. At least that's kind of like how I had the mentality that I had in 2016 early on was, well, if I can get to this weight, then I can eat what I want again or whatever. But over time you start to understand that you were in that situation because you were eating what you wanted all the time. And the self-discovery of food addiction and what triggers that food addiction, the emotional response with food, the emotional triggers with food, all these things that you never realized before, the self-soothing of food, all of that all kind of becomes uncovered. And if you can really explore who you are, then you can kind of start to understand what does what to you, what doesn't have as big of impact, where you can kind of stray, where you need to avoid. That's like I was telling, Shannon this morning when she was getting ready to go to work, like, candy for me has never really been that big of an issue. Yeah, I can eat a whole bowl of candy, but it's not something that I'm going to go and be like, I need it and I'm going to go and buy it. Like, if we didn't have candy in the house, it wouldn't bother me. What bothers me is the savory stuff. Like if the kids make macaroni and cheese, that's difficult for me. That's a struggle always. Pizza is a struggle. Those things are a legitimate struggle for me because that's the stuff that I truly have an issue with. Not really fast food. Fast food doesn't bother me outside of Coke Zeros or McDonald's right now, because there's the new McDonald's right outside of our neighborhood. So we have that issue. So so we have that issue where there's a new McDonald's out there. So I'm kind of passing McDonald's every day. It makes me want to have a Coke Zero. And so I have to be very mindful of that. But I do pretty good, I think, because it's $1.50 a soda, which adds up very, very quickly. Thomas says, the other day I got some fiber. I was blending a stick of butter into my coffee and didn't remove the paper. Oh my goodness. It's like if you're trying to cut frozen butter and like that corner edge is like frozen into the butter and you're trying to dig it out. And he says, even the organic kernels are 26 grams of carbs. Anything over 10 grams, I turn away. And Joe says, if you really want some popcorn, get a microwave popcorn machine. You can hot air pop the microwave without all the bad oils. You can also spray it with a little tallow if you want oil. And Joe says that popcorn isn't the worst thing as so long as you aren't using seed oils and fake butters. Yeah. like 3 cups of hot air popcorn is 18 total carbs and 4 grams of fiber. That's how we know it was saying Joe. That's how I knew. And I know this is one of those not necessarily controversial, but this is one of those things that is very dependent on who you are, where you come from, what struggles you have, what journey you're on, and where you are in that journey. If you're starting out, you're in the first couple of months of your journey, of course not. You don't want to give in to the things that you're having. You want to, but some of us, we've been living this lifestyle since 2015, 2016 for us. It really just depends on where you are and how well you understand yourself. Some people understand themselves well enough to know they can't have even a little bit of a stray, that they have to be mindful and constantly vigilant. And that's part of this is the self-discovery, the self-realization, and holding yourself accountable, but also understanding to give yourself grace when you need to as well. And Sean says, I've gotten the microwave pork rinds before. They're good. Yeah, but they've got the maltodextrin in them and things like that. I mean, but again, pick your battles, right? I'm sorry to hear that, Jerry. Says she's had 2 tooth infections in the last month, inflammation, weight gain. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're feeling better, dear. Brenda says, I need to start proofreading my messages. I have that issue when I'm on my phone because I think I've proofreaded it. I think I've proofread it until I hit send. And then I'm like, wait, I didn't proofread that at all. I'm like, it looks fine until you hit send. There's a difference between reading it and then hitting send and then reading it again. And you're like, oh, that makes 0 sense. And Lisa says that I love this community. Everyone has been so nice and supportive. And that's what a community should be. And Amy says, I don't have cravings. I have hunger. I'm just generally hungry on carnivore. I think my leptin and ghrelin are out of whack or something. Sometimes I eat and sometimes I fast, and it's okay to mix it up. Yeah. Thomas said, I said sometimes because of cravings go away in time, but some will grow, and if you don't have it, it'll start in a small way, and then you give in and go off the rocker. I mean, like I said, it just really depends on who you are, where you are in your journey, and yeah. Yeah, everybody hit the like button. It's very important. Let me know who you are, where you are, what's going on. If you're watching on Twitter, let me know. If you're watching over on Rumble, let me know. There's only one person watching over on Rumble, but it shows 18 people watching over on X, Twitter. So Cindy says, for me, it's not okay to go off plan like I did yesterday. We went to Zaxby's and had breaded chicken, and I ate the fries too. Everything was great until a couple hours later. Blood sugars went down to 58, but still at a low level of ketosis. That's crazy. Well, my question is, even when you're checking the blood, so the blood sugars is something that's like kind of easy to check because it's a right now thing. But I mean, do we really know, like, when it comes to ketones? Do we know? I don't know. Is it the same as blood sugars? Do we know? Joe or Rachel, you guys still here? Can you answer those questions? I'm kind of curious about that. I'm kind of curious how we look at that and what do we know about ketones and like as far as ketone readers are concerned. Yeah, Joe says I use the self checkouts because it's faster and I'm always in a rush. But I prefer talking to cashiers. Or Walmart generally only has 1 or 2 cashiers, but we have 20 self out registered. Yeah, that's the ways our WalMarts are too. Like, well, one of the WalMarts near us is like almost all self checkouts, and they funnel you through. Like you wait in line to get to the self checkouts instead of being able to like kind of go where you want to. I don't know. Like typically, if I'm going to the store, I'm there to buy a bunch of stuff, and I just don't like going to the self checkout. But because I've got a whole cart full of stuff, and I just don't feel like it's efficient. But I don't know. And Bry's Biscuit says, and this is definitely something to keep in mind. This is what I say. You have to know who you are, right? She says, I think about addiction often. I can moderate and I can go completely off the rails with nearly every carbohydrate. I have to consider my carb addiction requires abstinence. I always cause myself harm. Well, that's the thing you have to understand. Like, if anything off plan throws you out of whack and just throws you down, then obviously you have to do what's best for you. 100%. I'm looking at the chats here, people talking to each other. And Amy said, YouTube just changed the algorithm. It's pushing newer channels. I think it may have come in before that. Yeah, I don't necessarily know how. I don't know. I don't think YouTube is consistently pushing all of the channels. I think there's a misconception when it comes to the algorithm. Algorithm, and when it comes to YouTube, means audience. Okay, so when somebody tells me like I stopped seeing such and such in my feed, that leads me to believe that you weren't watching it in the first place. And I know that may be a controversial statement, but YouTube will show you what you click on and what you watch. If you click on, take because they're in the chat. If you take Two Crazy Ketos, for example, if you watch every video as it comes out, you are probably never going to miss one of their videos. You're going to get shown everything they do because you have you're showing you're clicking on everything they want. Everything they put out, you click on it. They're not going to not show it to you. YouTube wants you to stay on the platform. YouTube doesn't want you to go to other platforms. So YouTube wants you to stick around and watch as much as what it thinks you want to watch in the first place. And so when it comes to what the algorithm shows us, I mean, and I've talked about this is why I watch YouTube with two different accounts. I have an account where I watch things that are not keto and carnivore and all that related. That's where I watch comedy, and I watch stuff from SNL, and I watch the weird stuff in the middle of the night. Like if I'm trying to go to sleep, I'll watch them like turn 1,000 paper clips into a knife or whatever, right? That kind of stuff. They're building something, or they're refurbishing something, or they're doing they're taking an old 10 toy and rebuilding it or whatever. The things that I watch that with a different account than KetoSimple. And because I was thinking about that the other day, I was like, I had been watching Joe and Rachel for a long time, but then I looked at my history with KetoSimple, and I was like, it hadn't been that long, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. But then I went back and looked at the other account that I have, and that's where I've been following them since 2019. But so that other account is older. I started the KetoSimple account when I started the KetoSimple channel, obviously. But yeah, but I try to keep those things separate. So when I open up KetoSimple, so basically on my TVs, whether it's in our room or downstairs, the Fire Stick TVs automatically open up with YouTube with the other account. Then on my computer, my phone is all the KetoSimple account. So they're separate. So if I'm watching something, if I turn on the TV, that's going to be something I watch. Now probably subscribe to all of you guys with both accounts to give you an extra subscriber, but I don't see all of your stuff pop up on my TV because that's not what I watch when I turn on the TV. I'm watching all your stuff usually with my phone, and that's just to keep things separate. That way I can watch anything that I want to watch, all the Disney stuff that I watch, whatever is all on my TV, and then all the keto stuff is on my computer, my phone, and all that stuff. So I think that's a way to kind of keep everything to where it doesn't mess up my algorithm, because again, algorithm is another word for audience. What does the audience want from you? Are you giving them what they want? Like if you're putting out videos and people aren't clicking on it, is there something wrong with the thumbnail? Something wrong with the title? Sometimes I go back in and look at things, and I go and I kind of update old thumbnails sometimes if I'm in a situation where I'm kind of like sitting back and I don't have a lot to do. If I'm stuck somewhere and I have my phone, I've got all the editing apps on my phone that I have on my computer, so I can go back and update old thumbnails or make new thumbnails or whatever I need to do and add them to my YouTube. Just little things, update titles. Things that, title things like when I first started YouTube, you had to have at least 40 characters in your YouTube title for it to mean anything. Now it just needs to be kind of grabbing. Things change. And Andy says he had to use a self-checker last night at Kroger. Was almost closing time. So I don't mind if they've got the hand scanner. I can just scan stuff, but then you got to put it in the bags. I'm just, I don't know. It just drives me nuts. Yeah, and videos do push your channel out to more people. Lives and such. Like, I find lives with my KetoSimple, but I find new carnivore channels that are going live or new keto channels that are going live, that kind of stuff. Joe says the best way to deep fry or cook a turkey is to keep it moist, is deep fry it in tallow. Sounds good too, but I just don't. I put mine in a turkey bag, and I put like 2 pounds of butter in it, and then I just cook it until it's done. Ta-da! I don't know. It seems to be the easiest way for us. Ellen says, did anyone notice that Kim Howerton is on the cover of Women's World in the magazine dated November 3rd, 2025? I saw that, and I told her congratulations. I was like, look, it's you on the cover. Yeah, Kim Howerton's great. I love her. How am I still so far behind? Yeah, be sure to check out Thomas's channel, Target Prime Rib. I'll be live with him on the 22nd. I think it's at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm looking forward to talking with him. Next Saturday, Amy and I will be live at noon. And I'm going to be with Carnivore and Carnivorous Grandma at another time. I'm going to look at my calendar for that. I can't remember when that is. I think it's the weekend after I'm live with Thomas. Carnivorous Grandma, let's see. No, that's the 15th, the week before. So I've got next Saturday with Amy, the following Saturday with Carnivorous Grandma, and the Saturday after that live with Thomas. Andy says, I'm day 2 of doing core exercises. Got to get the gut under control. I hate exercise, but I hate this look. Yeah, I feel that. I need to start doing more. Carnivore, let's see. Lisa says, I tried being strict and walking over 20,000 steps. It's easier just going back to basics and eating meat. Becoming compulsive, it's not with it. Yeah. Craziness. Carl says, my question is, should I get our turkey out of the deep freezer now to give it enough time to thaw? That's another question. I don't know. I feel like they're always still frozen. And Amy says, I have cheap cameras. Do you think that hurts my growth? I don't necessarily think so. I think you can get good video out of just about any camera with better, if you work with lighting and all that stuff. Audio is going to be the biggest piece, I think. Simpson's in the house. Good morning, Simpson. Good to see you. So glad to see you. It's been a while. Well, welcome. And Amy, and yeah, Joe's telling Amy, you can have a great YouTube channel with an iPhone alone. In fact, the iPhone produces better video than $3,000 video. Yeah, I mean, you got to figure like Marquez was he was shooting. He started that second channel. It's an auto channel, and he was shooting with an iPhone and using these little microphones, these little Hollyland mics. That's why I bought them, because if Marquez is going to use them, I'll use them. And just so happened they were cheap. I got them for like $110 for the set. And you can get other ones too. There's plenty of these other ones around that you can get. I've got other microphones, the other Hollyland mics that I promote too. They work really well and they're really affordable. I mean, right now, microphones, there's no excuse to have bad audio. You can get really good mics for really cheap on Amazon. And I have a link, KetoSimple.shop. Anything you need, keto chow, salty, Amazon stuff. If you're gonna buy on Amazon, buy it from my link, because that $1.50 that I get is gonna be a huge thing to me sometime. I actually just got like my first real payout from Amazon. It was like $58. I was like, whoa! I mean, that's from a long time. It's like $58 because there's like, because they switch up how they pay you, and they sent me an email like a long time ago, like I had $12 here. I'm like, oh yeah. So I bought me a pair of boots. I'm excited. I wore them yesterday. I'm excited. Yeah, Big Butter Bob was awesome. He was a real one, for real. Amy says, Butter puts my pants back on too tight. Coach Bronson's in the house. What's up, Coach Bronson? I saw that. If you haven't had a chance, Coach Bronson did a live yesterday with Anthony Chafee. So go give that a look. And yeah, so Anthony Chafee and I can't remember who else was with him yesterday. It was a trifecta. Go watch that replay. That was awesome. If you don't follow Coach Bronson, be sure that you do. And Risa is here. Good morning, Risa. I'm so glad to see you. Louis Latito is here. Welcome, Louis. Thank you for being here. Oh, and Sherry is here. Good morning, Sherry. Oh, there we go. There we go. Good morning, friends. So glad to see you, Sherry. Let's see. Rachel is taking over. Joe's keyboard to say, Dustin, your beard looks particularly magnificent today. Well, thank you. I haven't done a thing to it except put a brush through it this morning. I haven't showered today. I didn't get up. I don't shower. Sometimes I'll shower before this live. Usually if my hair needs to be cut, my hair is okay right now. It's a little shaggy, a little hippy dippy if you want. But I was out late last night, so yeah. Karen Harrington's in the house. Good morning, Karen. So glad to see you. Oh, let's see. Amy said, this is so relaxing. You can go live every morning, Dustin. Well, I don't know about that. I want to make sure I just kind of feel like the more times you go live, the less value you bring to each one. And I want to make sure to bring value. I want to have a reason for you guys to show up and not just the way I talk. And Coach Bronson says, understanding the craving is key. There's a big difference between needing something and wanting something. Yeah, and that's kind of one of the things that I always wanted to ask people, like, how do you differentiate between the cravings, what cravings mean? Like, I mean, the body has set up cravings to make sure we're getting things that we need. I know we talk about that a lot with pregnancy. You know, if you're craving this, you're craving that, it's because you need this or that or whatever, like you're craving pickles or salt or whatever. But how do we get to a point to where we understand our cravings out of necessity versus just wanting something? And I know that we do have obviously occasional cravings, whether you see a commercial or you're at the grocery store, you see something and that sounds good, and then your body's like, yeah, that sounds good. But how do we get to a point where like we can truly understand and kind of dissect the cravings? I guess maybe it's probably impossible now with our current food landscape, but I don't know. And Brenda says, I must add in, I'm excited about Ketopalooza 26. I'm looking forward to it. I know it's going to be kind of a weird situation with, I know that like there's the 2KK cruise going on at the same time, and I want to go to both. I wanted to split myself in half, but KPL won't be more likely what I go to. I don't, because Shander's just not a cruise person, so I don't necessarily see us doing cruises, but you know. So many comments. Let's see. Jerry is going to start a 40-day fast starting December the 2nd. Good luck with that. I can't wait to hear all about it. I imagine there's probably hundreds of turkeys every year cooked this way. If it's even that number probably is extra low. The bag, like with the neck and all that stuff in it, the neck and the chitlins or whatever all that's inside the bag with the little bag of organs. I'm sure hundreds, if not thousands, of turkeys are cooked every year with that in there. And Carl says an addict is an active recovery should not give in to cravings for if they are for what he's addicted to, period. Yeah. Again, that's where like but that's where like the food, it being food, is so difficult because we still have to eat food. It's such a it's such a difficult situation. Amy said, which is funny because you were one of the first people I subbed to, but didn't really find you till KPL 24. So yeah, you were saying that you subscribed to my channel early on, but you didn't realize that you had subscribed to me until KPL 24. Is that right? I'm just trying to make sure I understand what's going on. And Joe and Rachel say, talking about picking your battles, we had someone comment about the fact that we added an eighth of a teaspoon of guar gum to 5 cups of liquid. Don't pick pepper out of. Yeah, that's the thing, is like, and one of the things that I try to talk about here is we are a community of people trying to narrow down issues. So we're trying to lose weight, we're trying to heal autoimmune, we're trying to heal gut, we're trying to heal all these things. and we're all on different but similar journeys, if you will, right? If most of us have gone down rabbit holes and we're all working to do whatever it is that we need to do for ourselves, and some of us have gotten to the point where we've gotten down to spices and cutting out pepper, cutting out garlic, or cutting out this, that, or the other, because we're just trying to find what's truly the cause of what ails us. And it's funny because there's such a large group of people out there that are hurting because of what they do put in their body, and we are here. We're kind of like these weird rabbit holes where we're afraid of, like, and I was talking about the Element thing the other day. The Element thing, for those who weren't familiar, Element had come out and said that their product per packet or per serving had 4 milligrams of maltodextrin as the flavor carrier. By that means that they take the dried, powdery substance that is maltodextrin and they spray this flavoring on it, because the flavoring is such a small amount that they have to put it on something to be able to measure it correctly. Same thing with the packets, like the yellow packets of sucralose, because there's maltodextrin in that, more maltodextrin than there is sucralose, because sucralose is so powerful. They've got to put it on something. So they were always they were saying, Rob Wolf was very adamant, it's only 4 milligrams. So when you think about 4 milligrams of maltodextrin, that's a teaspoon or whatever it is over 1,000 packets. So I was like, you got to pick your battles. Chances are 4 milligrams of maltodextrin is not going to impact anybody. But then it came to light that it was really 250 to 450 milligrams per packet. So that goes from not being an issue to still only being an issue to a handful of people. Because you're still looking at half a gram. Half a gram of maltodextrin in a packet is not the biggest thing in the world. You're still looking at half a gram of carbohydrates. Still not very much. That's still not, in the grand scheme, if you have one packet, that's not a lot. But my thing was the transparency aspect of it. But we still look at that and go, 450 milligrams, that's so much. But then you have to you have to take that step back and go, that's less than a half a gram per packet. But you have to pick your battles. Is that half a gram what's causing your weight loss stall? Maybe. I just think we have to be mindful of everything that we're putting in. So, is the half gram of maltodextrin in Element, or is it something else that's being mismeasured along the way that you think you're measuring correctly? I don't know. Those are questions we have to ask. We have to look like, what's your battle? Is that popcorn going to be what causes it? I know I wasn't fat because of popcorn. I wasn't 400 plus pounds because of popcorn. I wasn't 400 plus pounds because of maltodextrin. I wasn't 400 plus pounds because of apples or oranges or carrots. It wasn't any of those things that made me 400 pounds. It was pizza and macaroni and cheese and corn dogs and ice cream, on top of the carrots. And so, I think, but we still have to pick our battles when we are trying to heal ourselves, and we're on this journey, because this journey is a forever journey. This journey isn't like, a diet. It's not a weight loss fad. It's not something we're doing for the weekend just to lose weight for a party or whatever. Yeah. Cindy says, last year we bought a large Costco-sized bag and weren't even home. Gave it to my neighbor that showed her true colors a few weeks ago. Wait, what happened? Okay. I don't know. Jen Lucas is in the house. Good morning, dear. Good morning, beautiful people. Still up. Got to figure out the sleep issue. One good night tends to create the next night with no sleep at all. That's crazy. And Joe Rich will say, basically, guar gum is a whole food. It's ground up guar beans. I mean, even when we start looking at the idea of whole foods, I've had like food manufacturers argue the fact that the product that they make is, it's a processed food, right? But so everything's processed. Ground beef is processed. I'm like, okay, not the same. Like you take beef and you ground it and you just have beef in smaller pieces. It might be processed in a process plant, but it's not like taking, 30 ingredients and mixing it together and processing it and making it into one thing like like Kraft mac and cheese or whatever, right? There's a difference. So yes, we have to pick our battles, but we also have to be realistic. That's why I ask these questions. I think these questions are very important because some people the answer has to be no. Some people the answer is going to be yes. Well, whenever I truly feel I need it or truly want it, I'm going to have it. And then some people, it's just I have to be, I have to understand. And John Richard says, no, ketones is not the same as blood sugar. Ketones in the blood are just unused ketones. If you have them in your blood, you are still producing them. Okay. Yeah, because I was always people like, I've always told people and have been of the mind that if you are registering even like 0.5 ketones, you're in ketosis. You're like, if you're like less than like whatever, you're not even, if you're less than, you're not even in ketosis. If you're registering any at all, you're in ketosis. That's how I've always looked at it. And like you don't necessarily need to be in one or unless you're doing therapeutic ketones like for epilepsy or other medical conditions, being at 1 or 0.5 really is no different. I don't think in my opinion. And I kind of wonder too sometimes, and I've asked this question, but I've never really heard an answer to it. I don't even know if we have an answer for it. So we understand like being in a situation where a lot of us have come from where we're, eating the standard American diet for decades and we're never really in ketosis. Maybe some. The chances of never being in ketosis is probably not zero. There's not necessarily any absolutes, but if we think about if we're always so very concerned about being in ketosis, and I know not all of us really consider that. A lot of the carnivores don't think about ketosis because I think that comes down to a semantic issue. They're worried about being confused for being being a keto person. I'm not keto. I'm carnivore. I'm not in ketosis. Okay, but I think there's a semantics issue there. But I think for most of us during our life with the standard American diet, I think there were still times we were probably in ketosis. We may not have known it. We didn't realize it. Probably, because some of us have probably fasted, didn't realize we were fasting, or, like the way our food lined up, like we didn't eat and there was like a 16-8 or something like that. And, or maybe we were eating better for a week. We didn't realize it, or we eating less processed foods for a week, or we had more real food, whatever, right? But my question is, do we think that the inverse could be true, like never being out of ketosis, so to speak, for the average person could make it worse for like sugar processing or the ability to process and utilize sugar in our bodies? I don't know. I think we don't know enough. We still don't know what we don't know with a lot of this stuff. So I'm just curious. So Joe and Rachel say ketones in the blood is like having a reserve fuel tank. All that matters is, do you have any to pull from? Also, your ketone levels will go up and down even eating a burger and eggs. Yeah. Sean's asking, does anybody know the macros for the slice of paper stuck between the piece of cheese? How much carb is in paper? And Cindy says, I was took 2 crazy ketos. I was surprised to see 0.3 on my keto mojo after eating the breaded chicken and fries. Well, the thing that's where metabolic flexibility comes in, and I think people conflate or confuse like how you feel after eating something like breaded chicken and French fries to not being in ketosis. I think if you are in ketosis more often than you're not, I think your body is better suited to handle something, the occasional breaded chicken, the French fries, whatever. Because I think we are kind of designed to eat that from time to time. Maybe not breaded chicken or French fries, but potatoes, rice, carrots. We're designed to eat that from time to time. I don't necessarily think, and I think Joe and Rachel said something about this the other day, that we're not full-time carnivores. Humans weren't necessarily designed to be full-time carnivores. Now, I think some of us probably feel better that way. Some of us may thrive that way. Some people are not going to thrive as a full carnivore. They need some cauliflower or broccoli or an apple every once in a while. And that's okay. I think we get so caught up in our affiliations with things and semantics that I think that all gets lost on us. And 2 Crazy Keto says YouTube algorithm is based on what you watch, what you look up on Google, and what's trending. YouTube is the second largest search engine. Yeah, it really, really is. It's an amazing search engine. But I mean, really, for the individual, if you aren't seeing somebody's stuff, I don't necessarily think it's YouTube not wanting you to watch that channel. I think it's going by, well, what have you been searching? What have you been watching? Have you clicked on their stuff in a while? When it showed you their stuff, did you click on it? Jen Lucas is talking to Amy, saying, she takes 2 magnesium each day. How much magnesium? And like, I've been taking a magnesium complex. So it's like, depending on which brand I get, sometimes I switch between like a 5 and a 10. There's like 5 different types of magnesium or 10 different types of magnesium. Whether or not it's going to do anything for me realistically, I don't know. But I figured that like magnesium oxide, the body doesn't like very much. Magnesium citrate is probably going to be what makes you go poo-poo. So I just kind of figured if I mix a bunch of them together, it's going to give me a better chance. I don't know. John says, I'm so insulin resistant that I cannot tolerate any red meat. It will send my blood sugars through the roof, even though I stay in ketosis and fast on a regular. I've been keto carnivore for 15 years. So red meat does that to you, but I'm not sure how that works. And what do you mean by through the roof? Because if you're like 85 and it goes to 110, I wouldn't consider that necessarily through the roof. But I mean, if you eat it and you're 80 and it goes to 300, I don't know, then that's an issue. Yeah, 2 Crazy Keto says, if you put up multiple types of content on your channel that doesn't reflect most of the videos, it won't promote as much. Think putting a skydiving video on a recipe channel. Yeah. And I think some of us also look at, we're putting out live videos, we're doing lives, we're doing recipe videos, we're doing like informational videos, we're trying to put out shorts, we're trying to spin all these plates. And I don't know. I think like if you truly want to kind of make your channel into something, I think doing lives is very good for those who are trying to maintain watch hours and get watch hours. I think long form content is good to bring in subscribers and bring in people who really want to watch your content, who then may interact with your lives. And then shorts is just, I don't know, the YouTube and the shorts. Like I can flip through YouTube shorts and not see anything that I care about. It's frustrating. Brenda's off to breakfast. Prep for the week. We'll have a wonderful week. Thank you for being here. Truly appreciate you so very much. Cindy says, YouTube recommends my videos and lives to me. Well, I mean, you are the most important person to your content. I love it. Amy says, I created a channel to watch channels, but then people started subbing to that channel. Yeah, that'll happen maybe. I just don't tell anybody what that channel is. I've got like 22 subscribers or whatever on that channel, but that's not a big deal. Two Crazy Ketos. Joe and Rachel says, lives are good engagement, but don't grow your channel. Most new people won't watch lives. Yeah, I think lives, people who truly interact with lives are the ones who want community. They are looking for something. Then there's the videos. So like if you can kind of find a happy medium with informational videos and like evergreen content, something that people will look for years to come, that's a good way to utilize long form content. Evergreen content, some of the best, like my best performing videos are some recipe videos, but then I put out recipe videos that don't do anything at all. One of the favorite videos that we made were our review videos. Like I loved making our review videos. The way that Shannon and I are together, it's so much fun. Like we had so much fun making our review videos. And I think it really comes across in the recordings and then the videos that we released. I really just truly enjoyed that. But the problem with that was that just nobody watched. I wish people would watch those because that honestly, I could like knock out 8 videos in a night. I could go and pick up like 8 products to review, whether I bought them or somebody sent them to me. Mostly we bought them. I would go and I would spend a couple of weeks collecting stuff. And then we would just sit down one night and go through like 8 to 12 videos, and just knock them out. And then I could record them or I could edit them. And they didn't take long to edit because you're just basically cutting out the silence or whatever. You're just knocking the time out. Thumbnail it, put it out there, ready to go. But people just didn't watch. And I thought they were hilarious. The people who have watched them really liked them. Like that's how kind of Neely found out about my channel. She was watching some of our review videos and thought they were hilarious. And I think that's what we were going for. I did get a message on one of our reviews a couple of weeks ago. They were like, it was a review for something we didn't like, the Legend like Pop-Tart things. Like, well, why didn't I'm like? They're like, you didn't like these, and I'm like, well, why would we tell you we liked them if we didn't? Isn't that the point of a review? Like, I mean, maybe we were kind of mean, but only just to be funny. But I mean, saving somebody like $10 a box for 4 Pop-Tarts, that's a lot of money. You know, if I can save somebody money on something they probably won't like, but if the way we described them sounded good to you, cool, go buy some. But that's what we were doing. Like, you know, we would talk about how keto or unketo they were. Could they fit into a lifestyle? But I just had a lot of fun doing it because Shannon and I really riff off each other very well. Andy says, Susan is craving soup. She asked me yesterday if I could make my famous split pea soup. Haven't made it in years. Pumpkin keto chow. Pumpkin roll is on the menu for the next few days. I'm making pumpkin sausage soup today. I know I need to make some broccoli cheddar soon because I love a good broccoli cheddar. I just have to order some more sodium citrate for that. I have like no sodium citrate in the house. Jennifer, do you have some? Do you still have some you don't need anymore, or you weren't ever going to use? Well, let me know. I can always swing by and grab a cup of that or whatever. The colloquialism is that. Jennifer says, I ordered a whole brisket from Kroger. It was listed online at $5.99 a pound. I was only charged $2.99, so I just ordered another one. I love it. I would love to be able to make a brisket half as good as what? Like half as good and half as like at least as tender as Buc-ee's. Because I know I can make it so much cheaper, but their stuff is good. Yes, pumpkin sausage soup is delicious. Karen Low Carb Spends in the house. Good morning. Sean said, I got to meet Kim Howerton at the athletic conference in Maryland in 2023. I met her at Ketopalooza in 2023. Her story was really inspiring. Thanks again for putting that together, Coach Bronson. Yeah, Coach Bronson's the man. And he'll be live later today. I have this live stream connected to that one. So if you, depending on what time we end this live stream, it should try to send you over to Coach Bronson. But I don't think they're starting to 11. I don't think I'll go that long. I'm probably going to go here for about another hour. So like 10:30, 10:35, something like that. I usually go about 3 hours just hanging out. As long as you guys are chatting, I'll hang out. But I'll definitely end before Coach Bronson goes live. But if you think I'm late to the party, just wait till you see how late they start. Joe and Rachel say a good thumbnail and having a 10 to 15 second pre-roll is how you get people to watch. Then people scroll. If they like the thumbnail and stop on the video to read it, the video will begin playing. Yeah. I've shortened my intro music over the years. It started at like 8 seconds, and then like my music is now my intro. I'll usually do my video opens up with a hook. The long form content anyway opens up with a hook, and then there's like the 3 second like little what the channel name is and that stuff, and then it goes into the video. And I'm trying to cut down on like the call to action, the fluff. And really towards the end, you don't even know the end is coming and just it's done. Because really the retention's huge. The longer people watch your video, definitely the further it goes. So always remember when you're watching people's videos that you want to succeed, watch all of it. Let it play to the very end of the video. It's very important because the retention time is huge. Click-through rate, retention, all those things are massive when it comes to videos, because if YouTube thinks that people are A, going to click on it, and B, watch the entire video, it's going to push it out further and further. So if you want to, that's really, so I've been trying to not end videos with thank you for watching and all that stuff. I just try to kind of slip that stuff towards the middle. Hey, hit up KetoSimple.shop, support the channel, whatever. In the end, I just stop talking and it's over. Not thanks for watching. Don't click like. Just end it. And that's what I've been doing as of late. And I don't know how much that's really working or whatever, but I haven't been putting out enough long form content. Really, I've been slacking on that. So I have so much that I want to make and just got to get myself set up to where I can just come in, sit down, record. The faster I can record, the better, the easier the more you do, the more you record yourself, the more you go through the motion, the better off that it really does come out. Joe says, I thought a turkey 4 days prior is good. By the way, almost all turkeys in the grocery store are frozen. They just defrost them for you. The average turkey in Publix is 1 to 2 years old. Oh, my goodness. So is that even like, because I will get, sometimes we'll get like a fresh turkey from like Fresh Time or whatever. We'll get an unfrozen turkey from the grocery. because we didn't get one on time, or we have bought a turkey and the kids were defrosting the turkey, and when you get there and there's the plastic bloat, which means it's not good to go. So yeah. Bry's Biscuits out of here. Have a good one. Off to church. Peace out. Thank you for being here. And Lewis says the iPhone is the best camera. I think really the camera you have is the best camera. I mean, iPhones have a good camera. I mean, I've got a Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, so it's a darn good camera, really good phone. So I've got a thing. I don't mind recording with my phone, but I've got the 2 different GoPros. Yeah. And Amy films her video with an iPhone 12, then uses DaVinci Resolve to edit. Rick says, I have the oldest mic on YouTube. A 1964 ribbon. Sure. It's a nice microphone. Brian just got the DJI Minis and Osmo 7P. I like the DJI stuff is really nice. Like so, Too Crazy Keto said the DJI Mic 3 wireless is amazing, and if you have a Sony camera, it can connect with the hot shoe. That's cool too. I just think and I'm always telling people when it comes to just getting started, the DJI mics are like $300-400. Now the question is, do you have $300-400 to spend on the mics and then the $800 on the camera? It's going to have a hot shoe. Are you going to use your phone? You're going to use something like these. Like these are great. These Hollyland. I have 2 different versions. I have this one in a smaller set. This one's got the camera that'll pop into. You can put us on a camera. And then it's also got it's got the little things that pop into your phone. It's got all of them. Then the other ones that I bought are just for your phone, but they're teeny tiny little mic things that just slip them. You'll never see them, and they sound great. I mean, we're really in kind of a renaissance era of having a functional, great sounding microphones for really cheap. Like you can get the little Hollyland set that I got for like $40. The bigger set here for like $100. DJI stuff is up there with like that, and the Rode and DJI are going to be really good stuff. Like this microphone right here is a Rode microphone, and it goes into my Rodecaster. I've got a Rodecaster Pro 2 running the audio for this live, but Amy said that DJI Nisha promotes the DJI. DJI is great. I think that there's definitely a position that people are going to be in whether they can afford the DJI or not. And that's why I think for the cost, for the money, you can't beat the Hollyland. I have no affiliation with Hollyland outside of, I can promote the DJI stuff too with Amazon. But I think that the Hollyland, you're going to get a very, very solid quality microphone for like $40. You're not going to, you can't beat that for the price. Obviously, as you start to move up, there's things that I would love. I'd love some of the Rode stuff because the Rode, if I get the Rode mics, like the big square Rode ones, the wireless ones, they'll just connect to my Rodecaster wirelessly. I wouldn't have to need this at all. But I don't really think I need to spend whatever it is, $100 for that just to hook it to this. And I've got this and I've got the other mics, and there's so much cool stuff out there. And Rick's working on his truck. Brian Dish says, hey, Sean. And Jerry's asking what's DJI. DJI is a company that makes microphones. I think they're going to be getting into mirrorless cameras soon. I mean, I keep seeing rumors about it. I don't know how true that's going to be. They make drones with cameras and all that stuff. Charger, Rick says, I will not be using the truck to go to Hack Your Health, but might get it going in a couple of weeks. All right. I really hope that it would really nice to see DJI come out with a mirrorless camera that kind of like that competes with Sony and Canon and all that stuff. Sherry says, I show up because there's absolutely no drama. I look forward to Sunday mornings, especially now that I don't have to get up an hour earlier. Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad to see you, dear. Jen says that I love bare bones bone broth. I don't think I've seen it. I'm still waiting for the real good brand beef tallow to show up at my Walmart. I want to buy some and support them. And Joan Rachel said the KPO would be amazing, but you should come on the cruise. We'll make her feel comfortable. I think it's the boat in the ocean that she's not a fan of. Her family used to rent and go out on boats for a week in the Caribbean when she was a kid. And she's just like, I don't want to be on a boat. I don't want to be in a boat that long. So, I mean, the only way I think we were going to get her, we almost got her to do a Disney cruise because the daughter was going to take the granddaughter on a Disney cruise. So I think that was the only way we were going to be able to do that was to get them on a cruise. I don't know. Maybe if we can, if there's another cruise that comes around that's as cheap as that one you guys got going on right now, like $1,600 for the cabin for a week, then maybe we can probably get our kids on board and maybe get everybody to go. That'll probably be really what it takes to get her on a boat is to get the grandkids on a boat. But other than that, she's not going to do what she's not going to do. And yeah, as much as I want to come, I'll probably have to go by myself, which on the surface doesn't sound bad, but like, I don't know how well that'll work out for me in the end. We'll have to wait and see. And Andy says the cruise will be amazing. The company 24/7, key community for a week. So thrilled. Yeah, I want to. Amy says I subbed to you. Well, I didn't have this channel in 2018. I didn't have this channel till 2020. I started the channel like right before the pandemic really hit. Put my first video out in February of 2020. And then didn't really do anything with it till January 1st, 2021. And I basically kind of posted almost every day at that point for a while. Sean says, I still have a gift ham from the company I used to work for back in 2019. Went keto in 2020, didn't want to eat a honey-baked ham with sugar glaze. Guess I should throw that away. Oh, my goodness. Amy says, I'm frustrated that I'm gaining on strict carnivore. I'm on a Lisa Weidman situation due to menopause. It's frustrating. Maybe strict carnivore isn't for you. And I mean, sometimes we have to kind of look at that, like, how does that work for you? Maybe sometimes reintroduction of carbohydrates may be beneficial to you. That's something that maybe you need to look at. I mean, the idea that strict carnivore is the only way that people can lose weight is not necessarily the case, especially when you're dealing with a lot of hormones where maybe some carbohydrates are important. But I'm not the best person to talk about that with. I don't know enough about it. Let's see. Lisa says, my longest fast has been 5 days. I struggle to fast anymore. I really want to do it. So my longest is 21 days. And that was a struggle, but I mean, that's no more of a struggle because of life that happens in 21 days. Whereas like going out to dinner with family and things that happen over the course of 21 days. Also, it was like the time we were moving, we were getting flooring in our house. So we had to move everything in our house twice. And that was a lot of work. And then like you just don't have like the true stamina like you would. I mean, that you would hope that you would have. Yeah, Sean, give it to somebody who's hurting the season. I know my kids at school that aren't getting benefits would be hurting. Oh, yeah, for sure. North Dakota Carnivore. Lance said, Coach Amy, I just finished a 144. That's fantastic. Congratulations. Jerry's out of here. Have a good one. Getting ready for church. She said, Dr. Jason Funkster. I wonder how he would feel about that nickname. Oh, my goodness. Terry girls in the house. Good morning. Dustin and the Dusters. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that. That makes me feel weird on the inside. Jen Lucas says, my body doesn't understand physiology. I stay in ketosis per breath meter. However, I've been dealing with blood glucose around 126, fasting around noon daily. Jennifer says, I prefer dust bunnies. I don't know what's going on here. And Joe says, red meat would raise blood sugar if you were eating extremely lean meat. Risa said, my son and I recorded a video reviewing fall products. None were keto or carnivore. He is not on a PhD and haven't edited it either. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I still got some content that Sharon and I recorded we've never reviewed. Lisa made a killer broccoli cheddar soup yesterday. It was comforting. It's good. I love a good cheddar broccoli soup. Oh, Jennifer's asking what I was spacing. What were you asking myself? Sodium citrate. You said you had bought a bag some time ago, and we're probably not going to use much of it. I'm going to see if you still had some. I'd come by and maybe not today, but sometime the next week or so and grab some from you. And Sean says, Dustin, I sometimes miss your old intro and outro music, so I have to go and watch one of your older videos to hear it. Which ones are you talking about? I'm not even sure what you're talking about. Simpson says, before I go, for those who were stalled in their weight loss, what worked for you? Cynthia, I don't know. A lot of different things. Evelyn says, I was stalled and started to gain weight, change jobs, reduce stress. Everything else is the same. I'm losing again. I love that, Evelyn. I'm glad that you've got less stress. Stress is probably one of the biggest things. Stress, lack of sleep, lack of quality sleep. I'm pretty sure that's kind of going to be a big issue with me. I don't know. So Genesis painted Teslas. Are you talking about the Cybertrucks? I saw a Model Y yesterday that was in like a flat army green, obviously wrapped. Because I mean, they only come in a handful of colors. They're not like regular automobile manufacturers. They only come in like 4 or 5 colors. But I've been seeing more Cybertrucks lately, and I just want one so bad. I just want one. Part of me wants one just because people hate them. There's so many people out there who just hate them, and it makes me want one. I mean, I wanted one since they were announced. I've had my $100 deposit in for a long time, and I mean, I was hoping that I'd have money enough to buy one by now, but I'm still broke. But you know, Sean's making coconut cream pie waffles this morning. Oh yeah. Sean's a funny guy. Thought I saw a Tesla Cybertruck prototype in a Pi 1 Derby race quite a few years ago. Oh, let's see. Jen Lucas says, I'm looking forward to 2KK back-to-back cruise, then no trips for 2026, possibly getting lipidemia, debulking, several procedures. Oh, my goodness. Evelyn says, I enjoyed the people in the keto classes and the low-carb cruise, but physically I was miserable, unable to sleep, in lots of pain, and had a hard time. I put my best face on when leaving the cabin. Oh, my goodness. And it seems like wherever you go, not being able to sleep, if you have to sleep upright, that's going to be difficult. Evelyn says, I don't need to not go on any cruises until I lost another 100 pounds. And Jennifer says, Evelyn, I'm considering lugging my leg pumps along for the December cruise. Oh, Jason calls himself a funkster? He is like, I don't know. He's just like that's like saying like who's the guy that works with Stephen Finney. It's there's another guy that works with him who's like the driest guy of all. He's like one of the driest guys in the whole keto carnivore community. I can't think of his name. Let me see if I can figure out. Let's see. Let's see. I can't figure out. I can't remember what his name is, but I can't remember. Well, I'm sure some of you guys may know. Not Dr. Tro. This guy's old. This guy's from like 2016. That he worked really, really close with Dr. Finney. He was almost always there. Oh. Helen says, I think the histamine is in too much meat made me feel poorly too. And Jennifer's does still have some sodium citrate. I'll have to call you and set up some time to come get some of that. I need to buy some, but you know, I don't know. I don't need a pound of it right now. And Helen says, I feel much healthier adding in some veg again. Yeah, I think some people really just need something besides meat. I think the body kind of does go into like, I mean, is it possible that the body just goes into like the starvation mode when you only eat meat and it just kind of like ups your cortisol? I don't know. There's probably a thing about it. It's not Dr. Seafried either. I have to look it up. I remember let me see. Let's see. It was so dry. Jeff Volek. Jeff Volek is his name. People probably don't even know who I'm talking about, but Jeff Volek. Because when I went keto in 2016, I went hard. I was watching all the lectures. I was watching all the low carb down under. I was watching all of it. Yeah, see, even Helen's like, stress made me feel very poorly, improved so much by getting 10 hours of sleep. Yeah. Jen's got to go. Have a great day. Thank you for being here, my friend. And the walking has helped me a lot. I think walking is a huge distressor. I'm sure that walking probably helps with cortisol and stress. I'm sure that helps a lot. And Helen says, I can't explain how dangerous your mind and body feels under stress for long periods of time. Yeah, it's just insane. So Risa says we film with an iPhone 17 or 16 Pro. Don't know the name of the company of the mics. Yeah. Risa's got a channel. Make sure to subscribe. Uncle Big Guy's in the house. Welcome. So good to see you, my friend. It's been a while. Sean says, so cold in the house, my waffles cooled down before I had a chance to eat them. Well, we haven't turned our heat on. We probably won't until we absolutely have to, just to save a little bit of money. Like, everything's so crazy expensive right now. Like the other day, our neighbors, I had drove my neighbors to the airport Friday morning, and then I went and I dropped them off, and I went to get gas, got gas at Costco, went to start the car, and my car wouldn't start. I had to go get a new battery. Yep. Oh my goodness. I gotta make some waffles today, pumpkin sausage soup, all these things. Sherry says, I'm one who does not feel well eating just carnivore. My body needs veggies. And realistically, I think a lot of people, like, there's a healing process. And once you get through that healing process, I think that your body probably does benefit from adding on foods back in. I really do. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I need to catch up on. All the people talking about how they're not doing carnivore anymore, strict carnivore or whatever. I need to go back and look. And then there's obviously the carnivore channels who are making content saying, well, this is why they're failing and all that stuff. And like, I think we should be celebrating each other. We need to celebrate each other and our successes. And even if somebody is still living a proper human diet and maybe adding in some fruit or whatever to their diet, instead of making fun of them, we should be celebrating them. Why would we not celebrate somebody who is working to find out what the best possible way for them to eat is? And even if it isn't strict carnivore, like people may want them to be, like, what, that's the only way your side wins? It's not a winning side. It's a winning group of people. We want humanity to win. And if we are healing humanity, then even if somebody isn't doing carnivore, if we're trying to heal humanity, shouldn't we be celebrating those who aren't just carnivore, but those that are keto, and anything really in the proper human diet, the proper human diet spectrum? That's my question. And I see so many derogatory and negative things out there because somebody isn't pure carnivore or strict carnivore. And that's one thing I don't ever want to see here. I don't want that to be a thing. Even if somebody says, you know what, I've been doing this proper human diet thing for a while. I've been adding a lot of meat in and I want to go strict vegan for a while. Okay, give it a shot. See how you feel. If you come back, I'm not going to be like, told you so. Because it's all about self-discovery, right? It's all about what works best for you. It's all about how you can be sustainable on your life journey. I just don't want people being like led astray or like there's no perfect diet for any person as our group of people, I think. There might be a perfect diet for you, but you have to find it. You can't let someone else tell you what it should be. Helen says, I can't stand it when some carnivores talk about eating carbs again or whole foods. The problem with them is just it's not so simple. I mean, it's really not a simple thing, and they need to take a look at themselves and the reasons they're like, it's just, and like Lisa says, we all different. We should celebrate people finding what works for them. 100%. And Jen Lucas says, I suspect my hurdle to success is hormonal. My doctor thinks I'm too old to bother checking my hormones. Well, I mean, what about getting all your stuff run through on your labs? Have you looked into that? How much that costs, Jen? And Evelyn says, not everybody will eat the same. Believe me, believe the same or live the same. We're here to support your journey to find out what works for you. We love you. That's right. That's the thing, is I want everybody to find what works for them. My goal for you, and by you, I mean everybody who's watching either live or on a replay. My goal for you is to find the best way of eating that you find satiety and consistency. Effortless consistency and effortless satiety. How do you feel your best without having to struggle, without having to work too hard, without having to go crazy and doing crazy things? What's sustainable for you, and how do you find satiety? That's what I want for each and every one of you. And I don't care what that looks like, because I know it's going to be slightly different for everybody. For some people, it is going to be strict carnivore, and that's okay. Some people, it's going to be loosey-goosey keto. That's fine, too. The Simpson says that, I'm not healed yet, so I'm carnivore, but eventually, who knows, I may add some veggies back. And that's fine. But you're on a journey to get yourself where you need to be. So right now, you're doing what you think you're doing what is best for you right now. But what's best for you right now may not be what's best for you in 2 years. It's just not. I mean, but it might be. But it might not be. Who am I? It's not up to me. Tanya says, I have developed PVCS after watching Paul Saladino and why he added back fruit and honey. I'm going to add back some carbs to see if it helps me. Going to bump up carbs to 75. And like the thing is like Paul Saladino is one of the people in our community that drives me crazy when he makes short form content. Like when I see his short form videos walking through Costco telling you what you should buy, what you shouldn't buy, and why you should and why you shouldn't, it drives me insane. It drives me absolutely up the wall. But when I hear him talk about himself and talk about why he does what he does on a long form podcast or a long form talk, and he can kind of really get his thoughts out, I like the man. I think he's doing exactly what he should be doing. But you have to remember, someone like Paul Saladino is in tip-top physical human shape. He's jacked. He's very active. He surfs all day. He lives in a tropical climate. And he adds in some fruit and like squash with his meat and honey. He's not eating Doritos as far as what we know. He's not drinking Gatorade or he's drinking whatever. I mean, he's just eating whole foods. He's eating a lot of fruit, but he's also working out like a crazy person. He's consistently active. So, and he talks about why he did, because he had the imbalance of his electrolytes. He couldn't keep his electrolytes in balance until he added in a glucose. And I think that was one thing when I reached out to Liquid IV initially, asked them if they were ever going to make a zero sugar. They said no, because that little bit of sugar that's in their packet helps the body retain the electrolytes. So yeah, it's one thing to dump an electrolytes into your body. It's another for your body to hold on to those. And some people need some of that glucose to hold on to the electrolytes. Paul Saladino is one of those people. So I think, like if you are somebody and you have constant cramping and no matter how many electrolytes you're having and you're not able to like really keep a hold of it, I don't know, maybe a little bit of sugar at the end of the night, maybe a couple tablespoons of honey at the end of the night with your electrolytes might trigger your kidneys to hold on to it and not flush it out so fast. And I'm not a doctor or a healthcare professional. I can't tell you that. But that's an option. That's something you can look into. That's the reason why Paul Saladino does what he does, because he couldn't get his electrolytes to balance. So he added glucose back in. Works for him now. John Gugahan is here. Good morning, Mr. Gugahan. I am so glad to see you. How are you doing? JJ's in the house. Good morning, JJ. Good to see you. How are you doing, my friend? Jerry's my go-to for the hip kid slang. She says, my body works best on high fat, high protein, but you do you, boo. Like the kids are saying. Like the kids said in 1990, you do you, boo. In the 90s is what they were saying, Jerry. People are saying hello. Jennifer says, I already know I'm very low T, but need extensive investigation into hormones by somebody who knows what to do with the test results. Well, I would say get the tests and see if you can do like own your labs, and then that would be like a great thing to type out, do super chat to Dr. Barry, or I don't know. Are you still a part of his network, his Mighty Networks? Karen's got to pop out, but thank you for being here. I'll check to see if you're still going. Okay. Well, we love you and hope to see you a little later. And Lisa says, I'm a chicken to add stuff back in. I know me, and I know I'm an addict. I do some seasonings after a year into this last month. Added mustard, sauerkraut, had a couple strawberries, way too sweet and scared me. I use mustard on I go through. I'm the only person in the house who uses mustard, but I use a lot of mustard. Mustard, some sriracha. Sriracha has a little bit of sugar in it, but it's pretty sweet. I love it. Jerry says that losing weight is hard. I lost 163 pounds twice, and I refuse to lose 163 pounds a third time. I hear you. Good luck, idiots, is in the house. Good morning. Hail, KetoSimple. Hail, hail. Thank you for being here. Truly appreciate you. Uncle Big Guy says, everyone have a great day. I have to go. Glad to stop by. Keep up with your journey. Well, thank you for being here, my friend. Truly appreciate you so very much. Bruce Lombardo of the Dix Division is in the house. Good morning, my friend. The morning regulars. Bruce gifted five morning regular memberships. Can you believe it? I cannot believe it. That is amazing. Thank you so very much, my friend. And that's what the morning regulars look like there. He gifted five morning regular memberships. I can't believe it. Lisa is a morning regular. Coach Juliet Edens is a morning regular now. Sybil V. Brian Irie is a new member, and Nicole Ranson Reacts is a new member. Fantastic. Thank you so much. 5 new members of the morning regulars. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Bruce. Bruce is amazing. I'll be planning a member stream because I am going to be doing member streams for the morning regulars. Probably in the evening time, sometime during the week, just for you guys. So be on the lookout for those. I'll post it up. It'll be out there just for you guys. I'll leave a link open. If you guys want to jump on, you can come on camera with me if you want, or we can just chat in the chat like normal, but it'll just be the morning regular. So just you guys. It'll be a lot of fun. Super excited. And Terry Girl says, okay, I got up, got my coffee, and now got my computer, and I'm officially awake. Fantastic. I have my coffee. I love it. Yeah, there's the morning regulars. I love it so much. All right. Bruce says, I was here as Good Luck Idiots on Twitter as well. I love it. I love it on Twitter as well. Says, I'll be in with my usual suit. I love it. Bruce, you're the man. Terry says, my thoughts are that carnivore diet is an elimination diet. Once you feel great while on it, it's okay. Start seeing what the other things you liked twist you off. And then I think realistically, that's the best way to look at it. I mean, it really is an elimination diet where you're going to go back and find out what you can add back in, what you shouldn't add back in, and not just how you feel, but obviously you want to be mindful of those things, right? So you want to be mindful of the things that triggered you, things that can cause you to overeat, the things that you just mindlessly eat. Like obviously, like you don't ever want to try to add back in Doritos and things like that. Anything that you can just eat without thinking about, gotta go. I mean, for most of us, any kind of food addiction, that's gonna be the ticker right there. That's like I've said it a bunch of times, like really the thing like if the FDA food guidelines were correct, pizza would be a superfood. It has all of it. It's mostly bread. It's got some sauce. Some sauce is some, fruit in the tomato. Might have some veggies, onion on it. It's got some meat, a little bit of meat, not a lot of meat. Cheese, it's got the dairy. So it would be a super food. It would be like the best thing. It's like, and it's even pyramid shaped. I don't know. And Bruce says that you're always doing your member streams. Best to give them where they are to be used. Well, I appreciate that so very much. You have no idea how much I truly, truly, truly appreciate that. And Lisa says, I totally get it, Sean. I just want to stay healthy. Thank you so much, Dustin, for all you do. Everyone have a great day. Got to run well. Lisa, thank you so much for being here. Again, if you haven't had a chance, Lisa shares her story on her channel. She shared it over on Cindy's channel. Check out her story. She's got an amazing story, very impactful. And I think everybody needs to do that. You know what I mean? And Bruce says, don't give me a membership. I work too much to do member streams. Okay. There's Lisa's channel right there for everybody to follow. Lisa. Cindy says, have a good one, everybody. Got to go. Well, thank you for being here, my dear. Always a pleasure to see you. We love you like crazy, and we'll see you real soon. John Gugahan is saying, hey, Mr. Gugahan. Everyone's saying bye to Cindy. We're going to be going here for another maybe 10, 15 minutes. What else you guys want to talk about? Any news stories you guys have seen? Anything in the news? Let's see. News. Let's discussion items to cover. Turkey prices. That's where we're going to start buying turkey. You get 97 cents a pound. Get a 25-pound turkey for $25. Beef prices expected to rise through winter. Talk about buying in bulk, freezer prep, community sharing, half quarter, cow splits. Just inflation fatigue, grocery bills still we went to the grocery store the other day, it's $500. I mean, part of that was we bought a battery. We bought a battery for my car. That was $150. But I've been trying to eat less. I've been trying to eat what we talk about. There's Oscar Mayer hot dogs at Walmart. You can buy the 2-pack. So basically 2 pounds of hot dogs for $5. So that's $2.50 a pound for hot dogs. And frozen. I eat frozen hamburger patties. We eat chicken thighs. We try to get the cheapest chicken thigh, $1.77 a pound. Sometimes we get the boneless, skinless ones because they're a little more expensive. But I mean, really, just trying to keep the cost down. And the holidays are coming up, so with inflation and they're raising our electric bills are all going up, and I say this stuff because we are not bad off. And I don't say that I have a limited income because of what I'm trying to build. So I'm trying to build something, and with building something, there's limited income. But Shander makes decent money. Our kids have had to move back in with us. So all but one of our kids live with us right now. I mean, that comes with its own set of challenges and stress factors and things. But we're doing that, hopefully trying to mitigate the cost of all this stuff and trying to make sure that our kids aren't struggling. But I know so many people out there are going to be struggling. So be sure to be keeping an eye on things and help where you can. Because, we've got everything going on, the political landscape currently with SNAP benefits not being available to people who truly, truly need it. And I see a lot of arguments out there of people, well, that's a lot of people who don't need it. Well, I don't give a shit about people who don't need it. They're not going to suffer. If somebody's getting them who doesn't need it, I'm not worried about them. I'm talking about the people who aren't getting it who do need it. My grandmother wasn't able to get food stamps. She at the time she was making like $800 in Social Security and was like, and we're having a difficult time getting food stamps. That's ridiculous. You know, I just worry about the people who truly, truly need it. And hopefully we're all out there doing, like, I'm utilizing my platform here to share. Hopefully people, if you need it, let us know. We can get you some help. We'll get you what you need. Food will get you what you need. But there's hopefully the pantries are going to be strained. The donation centers are going to be strained because a lot of people are going to need it. And not just because it's the holiday, but I mean, as it gets colder, things will just be the way they are. But I want, as any good community, hopefully we come together, and anybody in this community or outside the community that we know that needs help, let us know so we can make sure that they get what they need. Because we see beef prices going up. We see that, egg prices are still crazy. They're down. They're still bad. They're still not $3.12 for 5 dozen eggs like before the pandemic. And we're not only here for the accountability. We're not here just because we're trying to stay focused during the holidays, trying to stay on track during the holidays. We're here trying to make sure that this entire community helps itself, and we can make sure that we get what anybody who needs it gets whatever help they need, mental or whatever, food, whatever. We can also talk about, right now we're also in a stress factor situation where holiday food marketing, the holiday food machine is sugar-laden products, limited edition. You can only get it this time of year. It gets me. There's like cereals that come out that are only this time of year, like the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, like the Sugar Cookie Crunch. I'm like, that stuff is delicious, but I gotta be careful with that. Hopefully I'll be able to get talk to Chris and Victor and see if we can't get an end of year like holiday episode of Keto Crusade. We haven't had one of those in 8 months. Hopefully we'll get that together. I know they've got a lot going on. Chris with his cookbook, and Victor with everything he's got going on, his side, his other businesses and stuff that he's got going on. Hopefully we can put a good end of year thing together for everybody. And I agree, Jerry. My thing is Congress and all the people in government should make $0 and have no ability to be reelected if there's a deficit. If people who truly need things are going without, they should make nothing. They should make nothing. And the fact that they're that they're trying to take away like health benefits and stuff for the masses, when Congress and the Senate get free health care for while they're in office and outside of office as well. There's a lot to think about there. There's a lot of pigs wearing clothes. But that's a whole other channel. But anyway, this community is about helping. This community is us being here for us, expanding our reach, helping those who don't know how to get helped. And Bruce says, when you're doing over 50 hours a week at your job, you're not going to split your audience. Just do your usual streams and be happy with the time you get. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, Bucky is a good staple part of this stream. I love Bucky's. I have 2 of these now. I had one and I left it in the van where I was doing a side job, and I left it in the van for a couple of days and had to go get it. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been to like 3 Bucky's twice. John Gugahan says, hey, so going to a late service, so I'll be able to catch the whole live. Well, fantastic. I appreciate that so much. So Bruce is asking, what do I think about the coffee additive You're talking about MCT? Did you say MGT? I'm not familiar with what MGT is. Are you asking about MCT, like an MCT oil, medium chain triglyceride? Is that what you're asking about, bud? And Bruce says, I'm not a turkey person. I'd rather not have turkey. I feel you on that. A lot of people don't like turkey. Turkey's okay, but I mean, realistically, if it's like $1 a pound, I'll get eat some for a while. We'll probably get tired of it too. Bruce says we have ham, pork chops, all the good pig stuff. We don't need a lot of pork in this house. It just doesn't digest well for us. But I'm going to be making some pumpkin sausage soup today. I'm excited about that. That's some good stuff. Terry's asking if anybody's got a cure for gut issues like SIBO. My husband's breath smells like sulfur, so I know he's got weird things happening in his stomach. I had him eat some plain Greek yogurt last night. I don't know. Reach out to or check out Indigo Neely. She has some SIBO issues, and I know she's worked through those. That's the only person that I know that has something to do with that. Maybe Nisha Berry. I feel best eating beef as well, and I'll eat as much. I'll eat regular hamburger patties as much as I can. You know. It's 2025. Why is this happening? I don't know. Sean says, my biggest weakness is peppermint bark. I have to avoid all the places that sell that this time. It's There we go. There we are. We are active. We are alive. We're moving. We're grooving. Shaking and a grooving. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Can you hear me? Can you see me? All right. There we go. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. But we're back. We're live. We're here. Coffee is empty, but we're going to hang out here for a few more minutes just to say that working that hard to get this back up and running was worth it. Oh my goodness. Sean says that I like to think of it as trying to hook up a regular garden hose to a fire hydrant. You have the capability of having a lot of water, but a small hose is limiting you. Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's gigabit. It should be enough. Thomas says, I left. Can you hear me or see me, Dustin? I see you, buddy. I'm glad you're here. Oh, my goodness gracious. Let's see. I'm going to make sure here. I'm pretty sure Coach Bronson and them are not going live until 11 a.m. because I don't want to cross over with them. You know how we go. Dr. Kiltz is live. But anyway. Oh. We are back. Back again. 3 hours, 15 minutes. Sherry says, no squirrels where I live. They are all up in the mountains, but not in town. But we don't have mountains. I'd love mountains. I'd like to live in a place that has mountains and ocean and all that stuff. And I don't want to live in California. So what's up, everybody? 2 more days to have Dr. Fester on my channel. I mean, Dr. Nelson. The stress that is the internet. I'll tell you what. Maritza! Good morning, Maritza. So very glad to see you. Welcome. How are you doing, my dear? Super stoked that you are here. Let's see. Terry says, kind of lost momentum here in your absence. I set up a second window for church while you were messing around. Yeah. And Sean says, Sherry, you might have a Rick, like person eating. Yeah. Like that's why there's no iguanas. And Sherry says, I used to live where they have it all. It was called California. California. But I would not live there now if you bought me a house. Yeah, I don't want to live in California. I like the weather in California is amazing. I visited there one time years ago. It's been almost 20 years ago now. Crazy to think that. It's been that long since I was my 27th birthday. We were in California. The weather was perfect. I mean, it was nice. It's dirtier than when we were in LA. We were in LA, like Hollywood and like Santa Monica. It's just dirtier than you think it's going to be. I don't know. Whew. Maritza just got her coffee. Well, I'm glad I just ran out of mine. We've been going for 3 hours and 15 minutes, 3 hours and 18 minutes, 10 minutes of which was shuttered by my internet going down for a little bit. I had to restart my internet, then restart my computer. You know how it goes. Evelyn's talking about making another pot of coffee. Just got the Christmas flavors officially done with Halloween. No. Halloween is the best. Doo-da. Terry lives in a senior community. I can't imagine a bunch of 80-year-olds shooting squirrels. You need to shoot squirrels? I don't know. Let's get some hawks. Hawks fly by with squirrels. Our cat catches squirrels and mice and voles and birds and rabbits. Sometimes I just go in the garage and it's full of feathers. And there's blood on the floor in the garage. It's crazy. Sean says, I absolutely loved San Diego when I was there for a few months. Couldn't live there because I can't afford a house or living expenses. But there were certain things I like to do. Yeah, it's frowned upon. Yeah, Sean, that's the thing is like California's just got some weird stuff going on that I don't think anybody really wants to deal with. But yeah. No, I might just go ahead and get some Halloween nail polish just to keep it going. Black and orange. How do you guys think about that? Catch me outside. How about that? There's a reference for you. Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. 20 of you still watching here on YouTube. 45 total. You guys have been amazing. Truly enjoyed every minute of it. Even the time down with the internet not working, knowing that I'd come back and get to say hello to you guys again. But I think with that, we've had a wonderful day. Thanks again so much to Bruce Lombardo of the Digs Division for donating 5 KetoSimple regular memberships. I truly appreciate that so very much. I love all of you guys. You guys are great. Thank you all for being here with me each and every Sunday. I look forward to hanging out with Target Prime Rib this month. And Amy and Carnivore's grandma, hanging out with all of you guys this month live. Keep track and keep checking back what's going on. We'll be here. We'll see you Tuesday, Sharon and I. We're going to have a good time. Sean says I should paint my head like a pumpkin. Yeah. Maybe. Anyway, love you guys to the end of the earth and back. So glad. Love you, Dustin. She says, Evelyn says, have a blessed and amazing day. I think I might go down and pick on my granddaughter, maybe have a little bit of something to eat. Anyway, love you guys. Have a great rest of your Sunday. And with that, here come the credits.